You've just come to us live here on the kickoff. We are watching Chelsea versus Brighton in the 96th minute. It's 3-2. Chelsea have had a man sent off. Joey's heart is about to fall out of his arse. You all right, mate?
Bum's going. Mate, you're going to have to come back to me. I'm on tender hooks here.
Yeah.
This is a hard watch. I tell you, and what did I say to you? We were talking earlier on before the stream, and I said to you, Brighton are scoring another. Even once we went 3-1 up, I said they're definitely scoring another because I know there's no comfortable time being a Chelsea fan over the last 2 years.
And I also, look, the penalty that made Chelsea go 3-1, very, very debatable because Mudryk goes through one goal and yet his touch took the ball away from him. So the keeper was actually going to claim that. Obviously, James Milner wasn't fully sure of that. So he sort of goes shoulder to shoulder and kind of dives in. But it was a coming together. I think it was quite a generous penalty. It's in the box now. And Brighton are working it as best as they can. They haven't got the joy yet. But look, I think Chelsea are lucky that they got that penalty, obviously. Otherwise, it would be 2-2. And that really gave them a nice cushion. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if either Chelsea or Brighton scored this. Before this game, I was like, I'm really looking forward to this because both teams are conceding goals for fun. So this is going to be box office. How's KG today? You all right, mate?
I want to say, obviously, to all people, drink responsibly. I don't usually drink on these streams.
Yeah, it's a painful one today.
I've got a drink. Yeah. I'm not well. Yeah. Even the hug that he gave me, I didn't like the hug. I want to say, when I analysed
it, wasn't a pity hug?
It was because you hugged me, but there was a thing of, I'm really happy with where my life is right now.
It was a gloat hug.
Yeah, it was like, I didn't know, I didn't feel like he was a friend looking after me. You know what I mean? No. I was embarrassed. I'm embarrassed to be here at the table today. I'm embarrassed. Literally, I've accepted what's happened with my team, and I'm sad. I'm depressed. You dealt with us. You mistreated us. It was like I wanted to call child services. I wanted to call somebody because it was that level of it. I know we probably shouldn't say something like that, yeah, but then that's what it was. It was year 7s versus year 11s. It was literally. Is there any other ones that you can say about how bad it is?
The stream's frozen, by the way. Can someone restart it, please?
Good.
It's gone back to the beginning. 0-0.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a scoreline you like.
Yeah.
It was bad.
You know what? I expected that. And I don't mean that.
Did you?
Yeah, because going into the game, I'm like, Ten Hag's away record against top sides is terrible. Even though you've been winning games against Everton, you didn't look good in that game even. You conceded so many chances. I seen a stat on Twitter that was in the last 6 games, and a lot of these teams haven't been great. You conceded so many chances, and I just thought, well, Newcastle are a top side at home.
Robert Sanchez, I'll tell you one thing, right? We've just seen Robert Sanchez pull off another save. He had a very shaky moment when he tried to control the ball, miscontrolled the ball. If he had been about 3 inches further back, he would have scored. We would have scored an own goal there. But I'll tell you what. He's a good shot stopper.
Yeah.
He is a good shot stopper.
Must be nice.
He stops them well, yeah. And do you know what? I was actually having a debate the other day. I was having a debate about who you'd pick out of Onana and Robert Sanchez. And for me, and I'm not just being gloating it, I do think Robert Sanchez is well clear there. Because I think one thing with Robert Sanchez is he can keep the ball out the back of the net. He's been up for save of the month a few times.
Sorry, saying your keeper's better than Onana is it's not the debate anyone wants to have right now.
You take the wins you can get, mate. You take the wins.
People say Joey's a positive, glass half full kind of guy, right?
Yeah.
That has never been more true. Right, we'll get on to the Man United situation. We're just seeing the dying seconds here, and Brighton have a corner, but they're appealing for a handball.
Oh my God! He's giving a penalty!
Goodness!
Has he given a pen?
What's happening?
Oh no!
Joey doesn't deserve this.
Has he actually given a penalty?
Joey
I think he has.
This.
Has he given it? It looked like
Wait,
he didn't.
He pointed to the spot, but then it might have been a corner.
He didn't really point though, did he?
No,
he kind of gestured.
He better not have.
He did that.
Oh, they're probably arguing at the.
Nah, I don't think it is. Is he even in the box?
He's in there.
Oh,
No,
it's his face. Don't worry about it.
It's his face. It is.
mind you, it nearly knocks him clean out, to be fair.
But
Yeah,
Cole was angry about the fact of his hands in an unnatural position.
Did it hit his hand first? Did it graze it? Was there a graze?
No, it's definitely not a penalty.
This whole thing about unnatural position. It's not an unnatural position, though, is it?
They say that.
Yeah, in football terms it is, but in life that's not an unnatural position. If you
No, wait, you do this. That feels kind of unnatural.
Check it
Oh!
We've gone to
Is it a
VAR.
graze? Is it a young graze? It might be a young graze. I want to see.
This guy's.
Is there a ricochet before it
guy's
hits
wicked.
the face?
It can't be. He doesn't deserve that, man.
And that hurt as well. So if it is, this just adds
And if it
insult
is-
to injury. Oh,
We're not getting.
we need
good
another angle. We need another angle.
No, that's the angle we use.
This does not
It
look
is
like
his
it hits
face.
his hand.
It is his face.
Nah,
That's not really the hand.
Nah,
Why are we
it
even
doesn't
checking
hit
it?
the hand. It didn't hit the hand. It hit his head.
I'll tell you what, though. Take as long as you want to check this one.
We're at 102 minutes.
It
Take time.
didn't. It wasn't even close
No.
with his hands.
Take your time.
Yeah, look, he pointed at his forehead.
Oh, that would have been crazy. But extra time, more extra time.
Still a corner, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
everything.
it is a corner. We are going into. Like,
I couldn't believe
I'm
that.
sick of
So
how
this is
much
great
extra
defending.
time we're playing.
This is great defending.
Yeah.
Bosh.
But if I'm his manager, I'm going, why are you doing that? You're asking for shit there. That's mental.
What is it, a corner?
Look at Liverpool, though. Look at that fight back. 4-3. Bloody hell.
What is going on here? The referee has the hold of the ball.
Ref,
Has he blown the full-time whistle?
He's not.
What is going on?
He's not.
No, he's not blown it yet because he added 10 on and we've only played about 7.
No,
to be honest. Like,
he's
holding the ball, though.
He's
What's
holding
going
the ball. He's not letting the corner take.
Ref?
This is absolutely outrageous. I've never seen anything like this. This referee is literally causing mayhem.
Havoc. But that's what they're doing this season.
Full
Oh my
time?
God, they gave it to Chelsea, but why? If it was a corner,
Oh God, this is just such a pile
joke.
of shit, man.
It's a joke.
you can't just kick a ball at a man's face like that and get away with it.
No.
Oh, wait, it's a foul.
no. Honestly, what's going on? Because
Oh, no!
he hit his head and went out for a corner.
Corruption.
So what's going on? I'm
It's
really confused.
corruption.
Unless he was offside.
I swear down.
The ref had the Chelsea
the-
score.
Wait, the
win.
ref's seen VAR as
No,
well.
no. The fact that that this referee gave that penalty earlier in the game, which for me wasn't a penalty, and then doesn't give a corner for a ball going out like that.
yeah, but why
Yeah,
wasn't that
yeah.
a corner though? Seriously, I'm really confused.
Because it was a foul. It was a foul.
How can it be a foul?
He blasted him in the face
That's
on
not a
purpose.
foul.
Yeah.
And his hand was in a natural position.
Right, now can we get the logical answer? Why has the referee done this? I'm so
I don't
confused.
know.
I can't believe we're in 104 minutes of a Premier League football. Like it takes
Injury. This is
just
injury.
instant.
These are the injury hours
Yeah,
basically.
mate.
Come on,
wondering-
man. Blow the whistle.
Yeah, he's taking a piss.
Can't say that.
Blow the whistle. No one wants to see any more of this.
Out for a goal kick.
Yeah, it's a goal
Yeah,
kick.
goal kick. It's all over.
It's over.
No, I don't think it is over.
Oh, Brighton
There's a
players
lot of
losing their
pushing.
heads. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
bit.
a lot of pushing there.
Yeah, handbags going on.
This is mental. This like, wow. Like we're gonna. I'm looking on Google. We're 90 plus 16 here.
They're already shaking hands. It's done. Game over.
No, it's not.
Well done, Pochettino.
It's really not. Do you know what? I honestly thought at the start of this season, I'm not saying I thought we were going to win the league, or even I did think we'd get Champions League football, but I thought I'd have some really, really enjoyable games watching Chelsea. And we've had enjoyable
Well, I've
results.
enjoyed it.
They've been in-
You have, because you've not got an underlying interest here. I thought we'd have, listen, we've had enjoyable results, but watching Chelsea has been bad for my health this season. It's been really, really
Ice
hard.
Cube made a song
Mate.
about stuff like that.
How's
Mate,
the referee still not blowing this whistle, by
mate,
the way?
we're
What is
talking
going
about
on?
watching a team being bad for your health. Look at me right now, fam.
Mate, this guy's developing
drinking-
a problem.
I'm
right
the only
now.
one drinking on the table,
Wow.
fam.
You know, the referee still hasn't blown the whistle. When that ball hit the guy's head, there was
Okay,
literally
Yeah,
a minute left. Oh, he's blown it.
we've
there.
gone
It's
Yes.
over.
Here we go.
It's over now.
Hold up.
Well
That's a
done.
big 3 points.
Well done.
This-
He's only bought out the old school one as well. Auto glass repair.
The retro
Auto
gem.
glass replace.
You know what? You know what you're saying there is. I was here before the money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Free oligarch funding.
Yeah. That's quality. That's
All
a
right,
nice one.
we'll get on to the Man United situation. Josh is on the way, by the way. We'll get on to Man United. Going into the game, I expected us to win, but what I didn't expect was for Ten Hag to park the bus. He literally gave up before the game was even underway. Like it was just they approached that game as if we were Man United and they were like a League One side trying to nick an FA Cup replay. Where was the ambition?
No, do you know what? We played you guys 3 times since the final, and we're worse every single time. It's got to the point. It's the first time. You know, you always ask me, this manager, how you feeling about him? For the first time, I'm looking at the manager, and I've never done, like, in his time being here, and I'd probably say, not even after the 7-0. No, but this time now, because him and Eddie Howe, you guys are not even your true superpower yet. I compare you more to, like, in the Joe Robinho years. You haven't, of Man City, bloody hell. We couldn't live with you guys. It was an embarrassment, literally. And every single time we played you lot, it's looked like that, but it's got worse. But the one thing that I do need to say that is clear is the players now, I think they're not playing for him no more. For the first time yesterday, there was a few people walking and stuff, and I think maybe he has finally lost the dressing room, or he's on the journey of losing. Can I
just say that wasn't the first time?
Yeah.
That what you said for the first time yesterday. That ain't the first time I've seen the Man United players doing that. I've seen that a couple of times now.
Yeah, but
this was a particularly noticeable one where you've got Garnacho, Rashford, and Martial all not doing the dirty work that Anthony Gordon, Almiron, and Isak. And what is great about this for Man United fans is it's a great mirror to be held up to the club, because it's like, you know that you've always been better than Newcastle, even though we're the best version of us we've been for a long time. Like, Man United, there's a level of like pride that they have. We will never be worse than Newcastle. And with every, as you've rightly said there, with every game that goes by, the more time Newcastle spend with Eddie Howe, the better we get. And the more time Man United spend with Ten Hag, the worse they get.
And that's why it's glaring. I think this is the one thing, because Liverpool, they've been great for years. Klopp, Man City been together. Literally, I know that Ten Hag has not had this long, but there's no excuses really. You're both Premier League managers, and you guys have done battle a few times. Even in that Newcastle one in the Cup, we're a bit lucky in that one.
Definitely.
Now, there's no luck in between it. Like yesterday, it was 90 minutes of onslaught. The only thing that happened is you guys got a bit tired in the 86th minute, so you couldn't.
They couldn't beating the shit out of you.
All of a sudden, Man United like, let's give it a go. Yeah. You know you got a big issue with, and I'm not even cussing Maguire because he was important yesterday. Maguire was our best player.
Do you know what tells me that he's lost the dressing room? Listen, it's only my guess, but what tells me is when you look at the personnel that he is sort of relying on, right? He's relying on the guys that are playing for Man United rather than playing for Ten Hag. So when you look at Ten Hag signings, they're playing for Ten Hag. Of course they're playing for Man United, but they're playing for Ten Hag. No matter who the manager is, Scott McTominay's putting in a shift. No matter who the manager is, Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire are putting in a shift. Do you know what I mean? And now I'm looking at it and I'm going, the guys that are bailing you out are the guys that are playing for the badge.
But where's Rashford in that? Because he's a child of, he knows what, the guy's been here his whole career.
To be fair though, as poor as Anthony is going forward, when he came on, he does the other side of the game that those players don't. So you're saying Rashford doesn't run back, Garnacho doesn't run back. Anthony actually does track back. He's just shit going forward. So you can't really win. Like it's a bit of a weird one.
A few things I've written down. Man United have 6 defeats.
Of course he took notes.
To be fair, I made a video about it. It's coming out later. Man United have 6 defeats. No other side in the top 10 has that many defeats. They've scored 16 goals, which is the least amount in the top 10 scored. And in fact, they've scored half the amount of goals Newcastle have scored. I found it interesting that Ten Hag's quote after the game, this team is resilient, we have a plan and we keep going. I will talk to my team, but we stayed in the game at the end. We had some good chances. We scored a goal, but it was offside, so it could have been a draw.
It's a ridiculous.
You didn't stand the game.
Nobody said that you lot deserve to win it. Because a lot of fans lost. A lot of fans gave up on Ten Hag. Like I was speaking to a guy that I was interviewing after the game. He said he's Ten Hag out after that. After that, those words, he said, he's in that Ollie. You know when Ollie was near the end?
Delusional.
Yeah. So, but for me, like, when I heard him say, because I was really nervous about that statement, but then he did say Newcastle deserved to win. Newcastle were better. Well, anyone could see that. Like, you'd be stupid not to realise they were better than Joe Linton was next level. The whole team. Isak's, we tried to do, literally, our manager got out-tacticked by Eddie Howe. Before I used to come in here and say, you know what, Ten Hag better than Eddie Howe, this, that, and the other. I can't say that. There's no proof. There's nothing to back up. All I can talk about is what he did with another team, with another, like, in Ajax.
Holland.
I can't bring that to the table. It's just trash. I'm done. I'm drinking.
And looking at Ten Hag, you think to yourself, like, some of the Manchester United fans have said, oh, well, the only reason he's struggling is because he's got the same bozos who's let him down time and time again, yada, yada, yada. And I'm thinking, well, do you not think Eddie Howe inherited players who'd let previous managers down? You have to get in their heads and galvanise them. Yeah. And if there's one thing that his sort of old-fashioned style is not doing, it's winning favourites. Like the amount of in-house dressing room issues we're seeing from Sancho, Ronaldo, David De Gea, now Varane, and they're also very big name players. It's not like you're having problems with little kids who aren't getting in the team yet. And that, for me, shows like, all right, you're not a man manager then. You're certainly not, a warm, like Big Ange, for example. He's not that kind of guy. Tactically, you're getting done over. And this is the key, is when you go to the top sides and you get played with the way Man United consistently do, that's because he can't then rely on the individual brilliance of some of the players that he does against your Burnleys and your Fulhams, where Bruno Fernandes will score a goal in the last minute. That's now to do with Ten Hag. That's a good ball striker. When the margins are fine, it's the manager's coaching that then has the impact.
Yeah.
And we're seeing Ten Hag's coaching ain't up to scratch.
I think, honestly, I feel that because there's this thing that players, we've all been aware of, but we never knew it was true. John Obi Mikel came out and said, sometimes we just down tools. At Chelsea, we're down tools and stuff. I never knew that it was something you thought could happen. I honestly feel right now, Man United, the players are down in tools. And
Why do you think they're doing that?
Because yesterday, when they're talking about getting to the second ball, we did nothing. Literally, I get Newcastle that'll be the easiest game they ever play all season. 1-0 flattered us. That should have been 5, 6, 7-0 yesterday.
When you talk about the second ball though, that's down to a manager making his players want to run through a brick wall for him.
But they don't want to do it anymore.
But how can they? Right, let's think about this. When I seen the starting lineup, Anthony Martial.
Yeah.
Why on earth would Anthony Martial, who was loaned out by Ten Hag, because he clearly doesn't...
But Anthony Martial wanted to leave.
Yeah, doesn't. But from both sides, he doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
Ten Hag doesn't want him there. So yet you're choosing him over the £80 million wonder kid in Hoyland, who I was relieved that Hoyland wasn't. I'm like, he is fast, he's threatening. Martial is done. So brilliant, you've picked him. How are you ever going to cultivate an attitude within the dressing room when you're picking a guy who's finished over the wonder kid who you think is going to be the leader for the next 10 years?
I think he got us a goal. I think it's the Everton game. I don't know if he was trying to reward. The funny thing is, Ten Hag is clutching at straws with some of these players, and it's nuts now. He's making bad decisions. And we can't defend it. But as Man United fans, we have to say to ourselves, listen, we've done this merry-go-round 5 times. And when we talk about managers that you want to bring in, we brought in 5 different types of managers. We've had LVG, we've had Mourinho, we've had Oli, everyone's friend. We've had, we brought in Ralph Rangnick, whatever they want to call about him. But then we've gone across, what personality type do you bring in now? What do you say? What is the person that I can't find the manager in world football. And guess what? In 18 months' time, we're going to be back here again. That's the one thing that we can guarantee with Man United. That's fair, though, because we're going to be back here again.
I don't think that's fair, because what that does is it removes responsibility from Ten Hag, and it goes, oh, this always happens to Man United. Yeah, because you keep appointing crap managers. Like Louis van Gaal. Louis van Gaal was finished in club football at that time, and it was his last job. He was an international manager at the time. Ollie was never going to... I don't know how on earth he...
But no, Louis van Gaal won us the FA Cup, but I'm saying that he was... We probably would say sacked him unfairly.
Let me finish. Yeah. He wasn't the project builder for the long term. What Man United have supposedly won.
Yeah.
David Moyes didn't give him 2 seconds, so that was never going to... And look, he wasn't good enough. And then you look at Ollie, he was never good enough. Mourinho, best one since Fergie, and to be fair to him, he fell out with the players as well, because there was some bad apples. But the point is amongst all of those, you've only appointed one good manager, and that was the only one who was proven at Premier League level. All of the others were not proven in the Premier League.
Not just that, that's the one they hated the most.
Yeah.
That's what I never understood.
And it
why?
was sour, but he didn't want to be there as well.
You're looking at Ten Hag and going, well, if this notion, that, and this is where I really disagree with Man United fans when they go, if Ten Hag can't do it, well, then no one can. I'm like, based on what?
No one can.
Ten Hag has done nothing in his managerial career above, compared to many, many managers out there. There's nothing that puts Ten Hag away from the rest. Even Stephen McLaren.
Except his thingy days.
Steve McLaren won the Dutch League, though. It's not the... I mean, if Steve McLaren can win the tournament, how hard is it?
No, but then when we talk about... Because what we celebrate Poch for, Poch is at Chelsea right now, and he's riding off the taking his team to a semi-final to taking the team to a final. There's not Champions League final. But then what we're talking about with Ajax had no reason or rhyme or reason to get as far as they did in the Champions League. Would they get to the semis?
But the Champions League is not a great thing to look at as a repeatable process, because cup football, it is a bit of a fluke sometimes, and you can chance your way through. And I'm not saying he wasn't good for Ajax. He obviously was. But Pochettino, when you use him as an example, what have we got from him? Years of proven Premier League results.
But nothing, but one.
Yeah, but considering who he was with.
And also years of proven player relationships as well, because that's one of the key things. And when you look at a lineup like Man United's yesterday, when you're looking at it and you're going, Luke Shaw at centre-back, bearing in mind, I actually think he did a good job there, by the way. But Martial instead of Højlund, when you look at a squad and you look at then the players you've got available on the bench, so you don't put it down to injuries, you can only put it down to one thing. If the squad looks that random and that muddled up, it's because he's tried as hard as he can to get the players in there that at the moment he trusts. And the other side of looking at things, when I say trust, it's the players he's got on board, because he's lost at least half that dressing room for me.
It's crazy times. It's crazy time. Go on.
I just think with Ten Hag, he's a decent manager. I just don't think he's cut out for Manchester United. I think that job is just a step too far for him. I think, like you said, the Eredivisie is one league that is not rated in Europe like that. So, okay, cool. Ajax has got a big, history. They play a certain way of football, a certain brand that Man United probably found attractive. But I think the Man United job is one of the toughest jobs in world football for a manager to have. And if you're not at that Pep level or that Klopp level, taking that job is very, very difficult.
Those managers too. I think he would have killed those.
But I think they would have put in a much, much better display than.
I disagree.
I honestly think.
I feel like you've had so much shit football for so long that you're kind of like mentally scarred, right? And you're out at a point where you're sitting there going, Pep Guardiola and Klopp could not turn Man United around.
Honestly, with
your finances,
you've literally spent 400 million.
Yeah.
And of all of that, when we did this sort of roundtable vote, we were looking at the best signings Ten Hag's made, and we were thinking Eriksen on a free and Evans on a free were the best value. The amount of players...
And Casemiro a bit.
Yeah,
no?
But when he's an older guy. It's not a good deal in regards to the long-term future of Man United. Like his transfers could have been transformative if he'd spent the money in the right way. Like if you'd had more Højlunds and less Casemiros and Varans, and I don't know if he made Varane rather, but
even our goalkeeper hasn't worked.
Onana's been terrible. Mason Mount was a terrible one. Anthony was terrible. There's hundreds of millions that he's spunked up the wall that could have been better dealt with. And
but should a manager have that level of control over signings and stuff?
I think most managers at the top definitely have a big say now. And
but is it right though? I'm just thinking of with Man United. The reason why one of the main reasons why I don't want to sack him is that, for instance, I know we don't sell players. At least other clubs, like if Chelsea get rid of a Kai Havertz, it's gonna go for good money.
Yeah.
If Chelsea sell anyone, they're gonna go for good money. Man United players, they manage to stick around and end up leaving on a free. So the issue that I have right now is no one, because we can't because we compete stupidly. The players we bring in players on huge wages. Now we can't sell those players. Jadon Sancho should be getting sold in January. Who's going to buy him?
Here's why Ten Hag probably will be sacked, in my opinion, is because the new money man coming in, Sir Jim, is going to look at it and go, what's easier? Get rid of you, bring in a manager who then goes to Sancho, actually, you are in my plans, I want to see what you can do, kid. And then all of the other people who've clearly fallen out with him get a clean slate.
But a leopard doesn't, remember when they say a leopard don't change his spots, so ain't you going to still deal with a player that said, you know what, for how many months I'm not going to play football because I don't want to say sorry.
I understand.
Yeah, but how do you know?
You want that person
I
around
said this
you.
after the Man United Arsenal match. I said it straight away. I said, Sancho thinks he's outstanding Ten Hag here. And at the time, all right, Man United weren't playing that well, but they weren't playing that bad. And I think people were sort of thinking, I don't know about that. And as the weeks go on, I'm getting proved right there. Sancho knew he was outstanding Ten Hag in that situation. And as much as we're always going to look at, like, the manager's the one in the authority, and sometimes we look at these players, especially young players that are a little bit brash and whatnot, and we think, oh, no, you're definitely the one in the wrong. How do you know Sancho's the one in the wrong? Like, Sancho, when you speak about attitude in terms of saying, all right, I won't play sort of thing. Yeah. But what we've got to remember is we're not privy to the exact conversations that have gone on behind closed doors. If Ten Hag has pretty much told him, it doesn't matter what you do now in training, you're training with the under-21s or whatever, and you're not getting back into the team, how do we know Sancho's even in the wrong in this situation?
Because what we do is we have to use what we've seen, because as fans, we don't have a lot to go on. But what we can say is the players that have been left out and then worked their way back in, use a Maguire, use McTominay, every time he's done this with certain players, even in terms of giving like Garnacho missed a lot of pre-season, and he was already talented, but he was late on pre-season. So we didn't bring him in, even though when Sancho was away. So I'm saying that what Ten Hag has proven to us as fans is he's brought players back in when they've been in the dark.
But when he has left Maguire and that out, has left Maguire and that out, there hasn't been like personal things where he's come out in the media and said they've not trained hard enough, they've not done this. And Sancho obviously released a statement. Look, none of us probably think it was right for him to release the statement, pin it on Twitter and everything he did. But I'm just saying the possibility, if Sancho is telling the truth in that situation, the context is completely different to when he left Maguire out and when he left these other players out.
Would you hurt your own playing career? Sancho hasn't played since, I don't know, how long ago? Has it been three or how many months ago?
Yeah, 3 months.
And he's hurting him. Sancho's hurting
What
himself.
about the double standards, though, from Ten Hag, where when Rashford clearly isn't putting the effort in, clearly is fucked off with... And this has been weeks of Rashford's body language saying, I don't like this guy anymore, and I'm done. So when it's clear as day that Rashford did not put a shift in and made umpteen mistakes against Newcastle...
And he's protected Rashford.
And that's what I'm saying, double standard, because it's one rule for Sancho and a different rule for Rashford.
But then when Sancho went through his, whatever Sancho was going through, he went up training in the mountains, wherever you want to say it, trained with a team that he knows, sent him to like 20 or something like that. Excuse me. He like looked after him, and he never said anything about it. Never said this is due to mental health. Never said. He just said when he's fit, he'll be back in the team. That's all he said. He'll say. I think he was good to Sancho in these moments. A lot of players, he's shown support. And when Sancho came back, he hugged him. Those on the touchline, and it looked like everything was cool. I think there's just been a breakdown in what's happened in this last.
But something has caused that breakdown.
Yeah,
that's the thing that we don't know. But clearly, they both think they're in the right. But when I see you treating footballers differently. When Rashford clearly isn't putting the shift in and you go, well, and I can't remember the exact words, but he basically covered for Rashford and I'm backing him. And I thought to myself, I don't know why, because the kid's literally not done anything for your whole season. And yet, he consistently picks him no matter how bad he plays. Rashford,
Isn't that backing? But that's what's so hard for, as Man United fans, we're confused because we're like, wait a minute. They say that he doesn't look after players. He's literally standing behind the player.
It's a wreck, mate. Like, I'm looking at that starting 11 and thinking, you're picking Anthony Martial when you fucked him off on loan last season. You brought in an £80 million kid who should be starting for you because he's the future of the football club. And actually rate the lad. Yeah. You're then consistently playing Rashford, even though he clearly doesn't want to play for you and he's fucked you off. His performance is speaking volumes. And yet, you're protecting him, saying, oh, I'm backing him. And yet, Sancho, who hasn't played for ages, you threw him under the bus. So it's so not consistent from Ten Hag that it tells me that behind closed doors, it's a mess.
I can't lie to you and say from how it looks, I don't know what's going on at Carrington, right? But from how it looks on the outside, it's a mess. That's the one thing. Man United fans, we're buckled in for a madness. This season, we're looking like a mid-table side. We haven't won away from home since Jesse Lingard scored. It was against I've seen that the top 8 2021 Jesse Lingard and Ronaldo were the scorers that day. I can't believe that. That just lets us know
the top 8.
They've never won away from home for 2 years.
And hold on, let's just not to mug them off, but let's remember who that was against. It's against West Ham. It's not that in that match beat Man City or someone like that. It's against West Ham. So the record probably stretches back even further without that.
When Man United fans are saying we're backing them still, if there is any, I think yesterday it might have been a turning point, because to see Man United for the 3rd time in a row do what they've done in Newcastle, I think it is an eye-opener. But my thing is, there's the sunken cost fallacy going on here where it's like, oh, we don't want to change again because we're scared we'll just get him, we'll be back here. Do you really want to trust this man with more transfer budget? You're getting Sir Jim coming in.
Well, now we got a new transfer team. We can't trust him with making deals. Right now, we know that some of the signings he's brought in, Mason Mount is a head scratcher for everybody. And it's like, you lot watch us, you lot have seen us, and you guys watch us as not United fans. And one thing you can clearly see is the midfield is broken. The midfield doesn't exist. And the fact that the thing that's hurting me as a Man United fan is, why don't you recognise that? And when you did try to fix it, like the signings you bought in, you don't play. Amrabat we bought in for the midfield, he doesn't start. He plays Cobby. Then Mason Mount he's bought in, he's not starting his signings. Anthony, someone that he bought. He's scary.
He got Amrabat in to be that defensive metal. I'm looking at Newcastle thinking, oh, he didn't start Amrabat. Great. Because he is one of the ones who would have protected the defence. And he brings Maino in, who's literally fresh back. It's a big game for an 18-year-old lad. And I actually think Maino's a decent player. But it's one thing looking good against Everton and coming in and fighting Big Joe Linton.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he thought that through at all. Because Scott McTominay is like a headless chicken. Like, he will run around.
He's just running for the sake of running.
But he doesn't know what the fuck he's running to or what he's doing. Do you know what I mean? So I looked at that starting lineup and thinking, all right, you haven't put Luke Shaw at fullback. Great. Because we're going to kill you on the wings.
Yeah.
You've got a world-level defender in Varane sat on the bench who could have played centre-back. You put Luke Shaw fullback. That would have been more frightening for me. So I'm looking at your midfield, your defence, and your attack with Martial thinking, he's made all the wrong decisions, lads. It's a cakewalk. Now, the fact that I'm thinking that before the game even kicks off speaks volumes.
His squad selection, his team selection each week tells me he's trying to send a message to his players. You could be in here, but you're not in here because you haven't done enough for me, sort of thing. And I think over a year, a year and a half now into the job? What is it, about a year and a half into the job? 18. And you're still having to send these messages. Like, it should have settled down by now. Yeah. You should. I get that there's always a little time, maybe after his first 3 games when you'd lost all 3, and then maybe you need to send a message to the players and say, right, this is what I expect of you. But at this point right now...
Look at him! Disgrace.
Before we get on to Josh...
Yeah.
I want to hear it from you, KG. Percentage-wise, you're in with the Man United fan.
I'm in with the Man United.
What percentage of the average Man United fan are they split on Ten Hag? Like for and against?
I think 60 for 40%. But it's going to...
60 to keep him?
60 to keep him.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck me.
I think
I don't know what they're watching.
I think that Liverpool game is the game that a lot of Man United fans are waiting for.
When is that? So the next game?
16th.
Hold on, no, the Chelsea game. We're playing you on Wednesday night.
Check our fix. This is how it goes. It goes Chelsea, Bayern, Liverpool. Bloody hell. So ask me how fans are feeling, but I think 60%, because Man United fans are, as you said, even if we're stuck in this thing about we've been on this journey for a long time, but they just don't want to change now. We're saying, we want to try and back this manager, but yesterday he really damaged his reputation.
Yeah, and one of the mistakes I think Man United fans are making, just to wrap up on this is just my perception on social media, is you guys will beat a Fulham or an Everton, and they get gassed up, and it's like, we're back.
We have to take those
I watch.
We're back. We're not back. We're just to celebrate.
No, but you start complimenting your players as if you've beaten a difficult team, and I see this a lot, and I think to myself, like, you've conceded so many chances. This is not. It's not going to go like this when you actually have the test in front of you. So
can I ask a
question?
question?
Hope that they get that answered.
Those 3 games you just said about, right?
If
you were to lose those 3, I know you won't think that you're going to lose Chelsea, but if you were to lose those 3, how quickly do the board pull the trigger? Because if you lose to Chelsea, do they not then look at that next game? And no matter what, a new manager can't install a philosophy in a couple of days. But if you were to lose to Chelsea, is there any chance at all we see Ten Hag shown the exit door? Because that Champions League game is so vital now
to the whole league.
I think the Liverpool one is the one where I think if we take a 5-0 to Liverpool, it's over. I honestly feel that the Liverpool one, the Chelsea one, I'm calling it El Mudico because both sides mudded. It's embarrassing. But you see, if we lose to Liverpool in a horrible way, because the 7-0 was disgusting, but what Newcastle was able to do against us, Liverpool love transitional football. They're gonna murder us. And Man United fans, literally, they're all praying about that. They've looked at the fixture list and they said that's the game that says it. So I think that's what it's gonna be.
Okay, well, Liverpool actually just won 4-3 today. We'll get onto that in a bit later. Let's talk. We're underway, by the way. 2 minutes into the game. City versus Spurs.
Who's Craig supporting today?
It's actually, do you know what? I know you're running a joke, but it's such a horrible situation to be in.
What do you mean?
We've lost 3 on the bounce, so we need a win. But I want Spurs to win. But what I mean is, I don't want City to be 4 points behind Arsenal.
So you're supporting. So it's a conundrum for you
I just don't want Arsenal to go 4 points clear of City. I don't like that. I do not like that.
I like this though. I like the pain that you're in.
I'm in between a rock and a hard place. So obviously I want Spurs to win.
Small places.
You know why though? It's because Craig is now accepting Arsenal are legit and they're a threat for the Premier League.
Yeah, I mean they were. I mean I was on ice all last season thinking they were going to win the league, and I thought, okay, this season they might drop off, and it was a bit of a fluke last season.
They look
but
better.
this season they don't look better. They're just harder to beat this season.
They look
much
more
harder
serious,
to beat.
don't they?
They're more harder to beat.
Yeah.
They're not better to watch, but they're harder to beat, and that's scary because goals win games. And defenses wins leagues, and their defense right now is very strong. Yeah. They look harder to beat than City right now, which is scaring me. So I'm like, if we beat City, which we need to do because we need to stop this rot, then Arsenal go 4 points clear. So I think the only silver lining I could take, if I'm even allowed to say this, is that if we lose, which is probably going to happen because we're playing 4.
So you're supporting City today?
I didn't say that.
Go on.
I didn't. Don't do that. Don't mince my words. I'm not mincing my words.
I know that.
I'm not mincing my
I know
words.
that City are favourites and should win comfortably.
They will.
But they haven't looked great lately. And if Spurs.
They have at home though.
Yeah, I agree. But I feel like right now is the best time to play City in years.
Okay, but we're ignoring context, Brian. We're playing 4 fullbacks across our whole
mate, if
back
you
line.
had your first choice team out from the start of the season, I'd be low key sort of hopeful today for you guys. But because of the injuries, I completely
We're playing
agree.
Royale and Davis at centre back. I don't like them in their actual positions, and we're playing them at centre back. And then our 3 behind Son is Brennan Johnson, Kulusevski in the 10, and Brian Hill. Like what is this? Like I don't expect us to get anything. I think we're going to get battered if I'm honest.
Well, I mean,
You never know.
One thing I do like
play
about Big Ange is like I'm sticking to my principles and I don't give a fuck.
But why would you rate that if you know that you need some sort of result after
do you
losing
know why?
3 in a row?
Do you know why? Because he is trying to build a repeatable process in the long term where his team get used to playing a set way so that when they do have all their players fit, it's so well drilled as a culture. So he's trying to do what Ten Hag never did. He's trying to create a culture. And
I know what he's trying, but my thing is there's nothing wrong for one-off games or at certain periods in the game adapting your philosophy to suit the opponent you're playing, the current situation you're in terms of personnel and injuries, and just respecting the league you're in.
Got to play the same way, mate. Got to play the same way.
There's nothing wrong with that, man. You can tweak it for like 5% of the time and then 95% of the time play your way. There's nothing wrong with that.
I love what a stubborn bastard he is. I really respect it. But anyway, let's get on to the Chelsea game. How do you feel after that? 3-2, bro?
It's lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you.
Can I just say fuck TFL because I've just had to get a bike all the way here. Soaking wet. You know, that's the commitment to the kickoff, isn't it? You know, come on. I just wanted to see you so much. Do you know what? It was a really convincing win. At no point throughout the entire game was I worried that we'd be losing. And
are you having a laugh?
He doesn't.
Me and Josh were watching different games.
This guy, he always does this, right? He plays the like, oh, let me just take the sting out of it. Let's have it right. Let's have it right. Your lot were fucking lucky.
We were shit.
One of our worst performances.
Spurs in! He's in! Pass it!
Too long.
Yeah, is he celebrating? Is he celebrating? He's celebrating.
Let's go!
That is why you always listen to Big Ange.
Let's go!
High line, mate.
Let's go! No, that was a counter-attacking goal, actually. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. That was a Mourinho-esque goal, that goal.
This is incredible.
From a corner. Watch it from Brian Hill. Watch it from Brian Hill, though.
Lovely turn.
Quality.
Don't you ever speak about him in that way again.
What a ball. Son.
What was that?
Look at that.
Yeah.
Who lets him
defending
go
that?
there? Doku?
Yeah, he's not a defender.
Bro, I'm telling you, this is the best time to play Man City. Been saying. What is been saying?
Wait, can we? No,
Let's go.
Can we have some parliamentary proceedings right now at this table and understand what the hell is going on with Man City, guys? I said
it from start
you've been
saying
he's been on that, but right now, is it official? Because they've had a mad game against
was from
Chelsea.
Edison as well.
They've had a mad game against Arsenal. Like, what is going on with Man City this season?
They're gettable. Them being gettable still probably makes them the best team in the Premier League. But my God, it makes for a more exciting season this year because I tell you what, they're not going to run away with it. They're not. And I know a lot of people, including Craig, I reckon you're the same. You'll think that you wait until January, February time, they do run away with it. I just don't see it this season. I just don't see it.
I don't know, man. They still got Kevin De Bruyne to come back. That's the one outlier we keep forgetting.
But that's
not only
finishing games.
But that's not only their best player. He's arguably the best player in the Premier League. So we can't act like he don't make a difference.
I would put my mortgage, every bit of money that I have, that Man City win this game.
Don't do it.
Honestly,
yeah, of course.
Every bit of money I have, even in this position.
Come on, man.
But regardless of that,
are you sure about that bit?
Yes.
Regardless of that,
100%.
The point is, is we're getting more and more hope the more we watch Man City that they aren't the force that they once were, even with Erling Haaland. And look, Kevin De Bruyne coming back is a game changer, but we also don't know how, after however many injuries it is now, what level he's going to be at. And
could they rectify in January though, and maybe bring someone in?
One defeat.
Because you're saying they still haven't replaced Mahrez.
Well, here's the problem.
And
is for me looking at the it's in.
Away.
There you
Straight
go.
away.
Goal,
Straight away,
1-1.
just like that.
Is that
Spurs,
wait? Is that a
can't
thingy
defend.
though? Is that offside?
No, it's a goal.
Can't.
Spurs can't defend, man.
What's going on?
Like,
Didn't
it's
have
as simple
enough
as
time
that.
to even put my bloody bet on.
There could be some afters there.
Oh, what's going on here?
So we had a free kick whipped into the box, and it was a header into the corner. But to be honest, Spurs should have defended this much better.
But look at the defenders on the pitch.
Oh, that is poor. It's
Is
an
it
own
an own
goal.
goal?
It's an own goal. The header
is
comes off
it?
of Haaland.
Son,
No, is it Basuma?
And then it's
Son.
kicked
Oh,
in by
Son's
Son.
leg.
He scored
Son.
two. He
So
scored
Son.
two.
Too hungry for it.
Two.
That hungry after he gets the first one, he thinks, I'll have another.
Let me see.
Help myself to another
I
here.
must admit, that is quite lucky for
Wrong net, mate.
City.
As the captain, that's terrible.
No, that is lucky. That
keep
is
flying the high
very
line.
lucky.
Wrong net.
The fact that doesn't, like, he's obviously trying to just flick that on, and he's flicked it towards the goal instead of away from it. I think that's actually a really lucky goal. That.
No, but you're saying it's unlucky. But this is. I think this is the third time this has happened this season. We've scored our own goal, deflected goal.
Right.
It's becoming a habit. A really nasty habit that I don't like.
I almost took Josh up on that mortgage bet,
Mate.
We've both got mortgages to play.
Yeah, mate. I didn't get the bet off in time. I wanted to put my house on it.
So going back to the Chelsea game, you guys admit you were shit.
Yeah.
But why? Because you've obviously we're expecting you to start playing more
This
like
is a frantic game.
a poch identity of football. And for me today, it was one of the worst performances of the season.
I've got an answer for you. The one thing is captains. And what we tend to do at the moment is, I don't know what it is, maybe they've got a bit of money on it or something, but they see the captain's armband go on and they go, oh, I really fancy a red card today. I really fancy an early bath. And so Conor Gallagher goes in, he's already on a yellow card, and he goes, do you know what, I'm just going to do the biggest slide tackle I possibly can.
Yeah, but
and just take him out.
Josh, we were watching the game, yeah, and I said that sending off, right, I counted 4 times I thought Conor Gallagher could have been deserving of a yellow card. And we were saying, like me and you have said it time and time again, we've got a disciplinary issue. But what sort of tells into that is not just the fact we've got a disciplinary issue, we're not very good in the midfield at tackling. We're not very good at keeping a challenge clean.
Remember Paul Scholes tackles? There's a lot of that. And it was ironic because me and Joey were having a conversation right here, and Joey said, "You know what? I would go and get in the summer." And I went, "Leaders. You need a few leaders." And we literally watched it's for a second game in a row. Your captain, different captain, because the other one's banned, getting sent off. And it was like the Wild West.
Another couple billion, he said.
It was well. This is what they're missing though. They have some good footballers.
Yeah.
But you know how you need those players who can actually control the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you watch Chelsea, the reason I love watching Chelsea is there is no control. It's end to end. It's fucking chaos. And before this game, you're like, Brighton can't defend, Chelsea can't defend. It's going to be carnage, and it was.
You got to remember, in 2005, that era, we had, captains of England. We had captains all over the pitch. We had Michael Ballack, captain of Germany. We had, John Obi Mikel, captain of Nigeria. Like, we had captains all over the pitch, leaders everywhere, right? Even when you go into the modern era, you had Cesar Azpilicueta, leader for Spain. You went through it. Jorginho, leader for Italy. And now what they've done is they've gutted that squad, taken all the experience out and gone, do you know what, we're going to trust in youth. And that is a good idea on paper. It's a good idea in Football Manager, but it doesn't necessarily work in real life.
Well, when is there going to come?
What is going on here?
What are we looking at?
When is there then going to come a point when we actually turn around and go, okay, we know we've got this idea and this philosophy of how we're only bringing in young players. By the way, let's not sit here and ignore the fact that that method doesn't necessarily always work. Like, and I say always work, half the time it's not working. Because if you look at half the young signings we've made, I would argue, and we get onto certain players, that half of them aren't good enough.
Can
right?
I
It's a goal.
Haaland sitter.
I tell you what. We've had a few little bets today. You read my mind. Who am I talking about?
Mudryk.
Mate, you're joking. What game were you watching? What game was it?
Can we just say?
Mudryk was immense.
Can we just say? It's about time we had the conversation, right? Mudryk has been at Chelsea for a long time now. He started a lot of games, and now's the time where we should be seeing the level of footballing ability this lad has. Yeah. Can he run fast? Absolutely. Is he a good footballer with a good footballing brain? Fuck no.
You say Malt can run fast, mate, but he's shit in Soccer Aid every year. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Mudryk. Listen, let me just say, right, look, I will happily eat my words when and if Mudryk comes good. But today, true or false, Cole Palmer showed more in 20 minutes of being on the field than Mudryk did in the whole game.
Honestly, my brain hurts. Like, I feel like I'm going to literally explode. This is mental.
He's not biased.
This is
when
mental.
Mudryk beats a man, I feel like you're going to explode.
Tell me why. Because all I seen from this kid was consistently giving the ball away and not being a threat on goal enough. And the one time when he was through on goal for the penalty, his touch was so shit that the keeper was actually going to get a hold of it, and he was very lucky he was brought down because he wasn't getting near that ball.
So he won the penalty.
No, I would go.
But he won the penalty, but that was luck because he was actually getting. Milner was man with him. He overhit the ball so badly that keeper was going to collect.
I would go somewhere in the middle of that, right? I don't think he gave the ball away every single time he got it. I think that there was one point when he whipped a nice cross into the box that was nearly converted, and he won the penalty. Do I think that he would have got onto that ball had he not been brought down? Absolutely no chance. There's no chance he's getting onto that ball. He miscontrols the touch just before it. But what I'm saying here is and listen, if it was for an injury, that's completely fair enough. But when you bring the likes of a Cole Palmer, okay, he didn't have a good game against Newcastle. Who did?
Exactly.
Who did? Our goal scorer Sterling didn't have a good game. No one had a good game against Newcastle. When you bring the likes of Cole Palmer out, and the way we're seeing it on the field, it's a direct swap for Mykhailo Mudryk. I just don't think, regardless of fee, regardless of potential, how he plays for the Ukraine, I don't think you can justify it.
Can we let Josh explain? What is it you actually like about him, and what does he bring to the team? Because I'm not saying it, mate.
Okay,
His hair.
So the hair is beautiful.
No,
he's a good-looking man.
Tattoos.
You know, he knows what he's doing. I would say this, right? I would say there are a few different areas I like. Defensively, you're going to go, what the fuck does he bring defensively? I don't know if you guys were watching Raheem Sterling today, but for me, this isn't a battle between Cole Palmer and Mudryk. It's a battle between Sterling and Mudryk. And I would much rather every day of the week and twice on Sundays play Mudryk over Sterling.
I need to pin you down a little bit, though, because regardless, the question was, what does Mudryk bring to the team? And you say defensive work. That's not what he was bought for. So I'm looking at, like, what are we actually getting from him? If a new club was to buy him and you were selling him, how are you selling him? Because I'm just not seeing it.
Mate, he brings. So this is the first.
Sterling take is crazy.
But this is the first thing I'm talking about because like from an outsider's perspective, I can go, oh yeah, Sterling, he's getting goals, he's scoring amazing free kicks. You go, okay, he's done everything, he's on form, he's a really really good player. But then you watch him for 90 minutes and you go, he's strolling around. When we have 10 men today, bear in mind I'm there in the stadium. I'm literally. Do you know what? I've got fan cam in real life watching Raheem Sterling. And he jogs around. He doesn't give a fuck. It's Rashford Mark II for me. Like, I'm getting sick and tired of watching him week in, week out. And he doesn't give a fuck about Chelsea.
I'm going to have to repeat the question.
Not give a fuck.
Right,
I like that.
Okay.
Great
what does he bring to the table?
Okay, let's get into it.
Right. Sorry. Just
oh my God, I can't even explain it.
Just before you go. Okay. If the argument is that Raheem Sterling is not deserving of a place, why not Madueke then? Why is it Mudryk?
No. Just tell me what's good about Mudryk. It's a simple question.
You can't.
So
it's not really a yes or no answer, Brian.
He's absolutely fantastic at beating a player and getting a cross in. He can do that week in, week out. He's absolutely brilliant at that. Again, if he wasn't making that run today and he wasn't supporting Jackson, we wouldn't have got the penalty. So Sterling wouldn't do that. Madueke wouldn't do that. And there's no other player in the Chelsea squad that would have done the run that Mudryk did today to win the penalty. And then we don't win the penalty.
Sterling
and then it's 1-1. Sterling doesn't get on that ball. He doesn't have the pace to get on that ball.
No, but I mean the run, how he got the penalty against Spurs.
Brian, I'm going to help you out. To answer the question, he's in there for pace. That's what Josh is saying. That's
one reason, but he's technically very good.
He hasn't offered enough.
Okay. There's another reason. Today he wins the ball in the first half. He wins the ball. He chops a player, cuts inside, does a shot from 40 yards. It was a whisker away from going in the goal.
There's
the only player in our team that will take a shot. Mate, honestly, I can't wait. I'm so excited for the moment where he absolutely proves you all wrong.
Can we just say, Josh, you've been saying that same sentence for a little while now. I can't wait. We can't wait. I'm pretty sure
it's Christmas, right?
I'm pretty sure the Chelsea board, who are paying his wages, can't wait either because
he can't wait because he supports Chelsea.
I want to be on board with it. Like I genuinely do want to be on board with it. I want to be able to look at Mikhailo Mudryk and go, mate, I tell you what, there's something special there. But I feel like in these cases, when you see these little glimmers every now and again of brilliance, I think that the thing that nullifies that is when you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting, and then you cast your mind back to other players that have potentially in time show glimpses of brilliance, and you remember the way their careers went and how it never came to fruition, and you go, you could just be another one of them.
Let me keep it this simple, just to put a full stop on my point and why I rate him. If he didn't make the forward run today, we wouldn't have got the penalty and we wouldn't have won the game because it would have been 1-1 and we probably would have lost. Right? It's that simple. And then also everything else that he does, he knits everything together. And also, when it came to shove, the subs that were made, he was on in the final man. He was as the number 9. It just proves that Pochettino rates him. Okay. Like otherwise, he would have taken him off.
I appreciate everything you've said, and he did make the run, which did result in the penalty. The reality is he probably shouldn't, in my opinion, he shouldn't have taken a bad touch, and he should have actually scored himself, and he actually got quite lucky that the challenge was put into him, and I think that the penalty was a harsh decision. My main concern, and I think that this should be the concern for Chelsea fans around Mudryk, is when you're looking at timescales of players who've been bought for big money, there's a finite amount of time before they usually come good, and there's a window where, like Anthony Gordon for Newcastle, like last season, bit hit and miss. This season, all right, you've had half a season at Newcastle, now you're kicking on. We're seeing regular goal involvements from him week in, week out. 9 in 12 matches, right? With Mudryk, it's so scarce and rare that he does things that I see and I go, there's something there. And I'm putting that down in my head to his footballing brain. I just think he's more of an athlete than a footballer mentally. And when that's the case, yeah, you can be effective, but will he ever live up to what we thought when the name and the brand and just
when they stole him from Arsenal? Yeah,
when he was stolen from Arsenal, that I thought, okay, that what a signing that could be. And the whole package of when he was delivered at the club, the promo package, it looked great.
The cameo against Liverpool when he first came in, you thought, oh.
Yeah, he had the look of a little superstar, but for me now, I'm not on board with what
social media baller. That's all he is.
I think he's a good athlete, but not a great footballer.
I will be happy to change my tune if it does come to fruition. I'm just saying I don't put him in that starting 11.
I tell you now, there are 40,000 people at Stamford Bridge today that would strongly disagree with every single one of you. Because everyone in the ground rates Mudryk.
We've seen chance for Spurs.
No.
Honestly, there's something wrong with Man City.
We've seen
midfield-wise. They're not battling the way they used to. Like Man City could control games and you wouldn't have a chance. I'm seeing Spurs get onto the ball. They're having nice little moments.
They conceded 4 goals against Chelsea. They're not controlling games the way they used to, for sure.
Jeez.
For sure. And I think the level of footballers that they've got is...
Has everyone just caught up to them or have they just got back?
I think
they're going to win this game.
When you look at who they're relying on more consistently week in, week out, Doku and Foden... as good as they are talent-wise, they're just not the same in terms of controlling the game as what they used to have in
Has Foden proven himself yet? As in, is Foden, are we all at the table saying Foden's like world class or what?
Do you know my issue with Foden?
Yeah.
Like, it's not the talent thing, because there's times he does things where I think you're one of the most gifted English footballers I've ever seen. It's the consistency and the big game mentality. There's been quite a few games I've watched him where I've thought, you might as well have not have played here, mate. You've just drifted in and out of the game. And he's not doing the things that I thought he would be doing by now. Yeah. Maybe that's me having unrealistic expectations of him. But under Pep, and with Pep Guardiola himself saying, most gifted footballer as a young lad I've seen, well, you're thinking, you should be doing now, maybe not Jude Bellingham level shit, but up there. You know, you should be the one taking the game by the scruff of the neck.
He just pulls it.
And he is not the main man yet, and I don't see him. I think he's never going to be David Silva. He's never going to be like that guy. He's
still
more
early in his career though. Very early. How old is he?
I hope I like the guy, and good luck to him. But I'm not trying to be a hater. But I just right now he's not the main man for City.
He's not why I expected.
And I thought he would be by now. Yeah. I thought we'd be getting there because. Is he even doing as I mean, I'm bringing Anthony Gordon into it just because of the same position, but like, if we're talking about starting for England this season, based on form, I put Grealish, Foden and Rashford behind Anthony Gordon right now. I'd have Saka and Anthony Gordon in England first team.
Go on, Brennan Johnson. I saw him at the 21 Savage concert.
That's a scary front line as well. Saka, Kane, Anthony Gordon.
You know why? Because we would have the pace and aggression in Saka and Gordon, who do the dirty work and can fucking threaten, and then Kane in the middle, right?
Sorry for being rude, but just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, go on, Brennan. Yeah, they're not going to be intimidated by any team that they play.
No way.
So when Southgate inevitably doesn't pick him for his Euro squad, what are you going to say? What's your message to Southgate?
Do you know why he should though? Because Southgate is a safety-first manager, and no Premier League footballer in the attacking third does more off-the-ball running than Anthony Gordon. He is actually going to keep you as protected as humanly possible.
Have we seen Anthony Gordon get senior cap?
No.
Yeah. Right, so he hasn't had a senior cap.
Can he play
So Cole Palmer is always going to have a lead here, but. Who do we think? Not who do we think's better. That will just become an argument. Who do we think Southgate is more likely to pick out of Cole Palmer and Anthony Gordon?
I think honestly it could be neither. I honestly don't think he'll take both of them.
Foolish.
I think he likes Grealish because Grealish is on the ball a lot and he helps take the sting out of games and boring it up a bit.
And he's loyal.
Slows it down, and it makes Southgate probably feel safe doing that. But I think that it's not that I don't rate Grealish as a footballer, but I just think like styles sometimes complement each other better. And for me, Saka and Anthony Gordon on either wing would be a nightmare.
I don't know whether I'm just on the Anthony Gordon hype train at the moment. I'm high on him, but I am high on him, right? And when I'm looking at this upcoming tournament, Anthony Gordon playing and starting for England could be Rooney Euro 2004 vibes.
Really?
Yeah, I do think it. No, I think
that's a high.
No, he's not as talented as Rooney.
Okay.
But I personally don't see that. But he's so effective. He reminds me of Craig Bellamy back in the day for Newcastle. He's a bastard.
You know what?
And
he
never
Saka
gives
did?
up.
When Saka first came in the Euro 2020, I think it was the second group stage match. Saka came into the lineup, and from there it was like I was looking at it thinking, yeah, Saka's there for a laugh. You know, he's not going to get on the pitch hardly. And then once he came in, you were like, you don't drop him. You can't drop him, and I feel like Anthony Gordon could have that sort of effect in the upcoming Euros.
He's one of the most effective players in Premier League football right now, and it's a shame because I think somehow his image kind of goes against him because he's got this little hard bastard like mentality, or like he's a nightmare. You know, he's a wind up a little bit. Yeah. He's very much a Man United player from back in the day. Alex Ferguson would have loved him.
He would have signed him immediately.
Exactly.
That's what you need, though, isn't it? Yeah, that sort of player.
Do you know wonderful reverse ball in?
Walker gets it.
Those guys. Those kind of characters win tournaments. Like Anthony Gordon literally won the Euro under-21s.
And he cooked the hell out of Wan-Bissaka.
He was the leading scorer for England's under-21s in the Euros, right? So he's proven like tournament football, he's cool with that. And another thing I really like about him is he's very like, he gave a post-match interview and he said, I just want to show Eddie Howe that he can trust me.
Wow.
And to say that at 22 years old, I'm like, God, you've got it. Like you've got the talent, the drive, you've got everything that's going to take to get you to the top.
Two birds of one stone there, mate. It don't only prove that Anthony Gordon's got it, proves that Eddie Howe's got it. To have players speaking like that about you.
Eddie Howe's done a fan. You have
the
to
man.
say,
Can we talk about England? We'll get on to Newcastle, but I do want to say England's
attack.
The group has been
who they got?
Denmark.
Slovakia.
I think I've written it down.
Serbia.
Sorry, I'll read it out to you. So England have Denmark, Slovenia, and Serbia.
Yeah.
And for me, like while we're on the talent, having Jude Bellingham and Declan Rice, who are having unbelievable seasons, and the likes of what we've said that the front three can be, whatever front three would decide to take. if Gareth Southgate doesn't win this tournament, it's one of the biggest failures in international fucking history for me. Like because
Really?
because
worse than like Gerrard, Lampard.
It's right. No, it's right, mate. Even Gerrard and Lampard, they were different. I think Bellingham and Rice complement each other perfectly. It's a dream scenario to have them two in the middle, and then to have we've literally got the best striker in world football, one of the best right wingers in world football, arguably the best central attacking midfielder in world football. Like we're dominating.
Oh my goodness, they gave the ball up short. It's into the
heel.
Dealt with Spurs. Oh, Man City.
I think that when we speak about if he doesn't win the tournament, it being a failure, I think you've got to have some sort of context on how he doesn't win it. If he doesn't come within a whisker of winning it, I'd agree with you. If he doesn't get to a final, I'd agree with you. And is it a failure even if he gets to a final and doesn't win it? Okay, like it still probably is. But I think that the main thing is, if we do what we did last time and go out in, let's say, a quarter-final to France, that's just not acceptable. That's not acceptable. Like, we're looking at that group, we should be coming through top of the group with 3 wins in that group. You look at, like, a lot of people think Denmark. I actually think the hardest team in there is Serbia. But I think that if you look at that group, in total, we need to be completely outplaying these teams and going into the next.
It's always a final for every nation when they play England, though.
Yeah, but it should be a final for England.
This is such a Man United thing to say, this, isn't it? You're literally ingrained. No, because we've got better players than 99%.
But you know that there's a razor.
The best starting 11 in world.
But you do know the best 11 out of 100%.
Are we not going to acknowledge that?
No, France aren't better than us.
Way better.
Right. Well,
are we not acknowledging that teams do go for England? They have to. It's this one team. It's one of those nations that,
and that's why Southgate needs to make sure that he raises that. Look, remember the last final where he bottled it? Like the whole attitude of that final again was just try not to lose. It's like no, you don't do that. This game, this is the game you fucking attack. Like it's the life and death. And it's that bitch mentality that Southgate has that pisses me off because you can't have that in these moments.
Can I ask you this question now? If Rashford's form continues, he probably gets 5 or 6 goals, yeah? It's insane. If Rashford gets 5 or 6 goals, do you select him for England? Because Southgate's the kind of guy that's so loyal. He selected Maguire when he wasn't playing. Would you look at him as that's terrible?
Is he? Is he that loyal that he'd...
He's just hit the bar, clattered off the bar. What a shot that was.
To be fair, Tottenham let him have free rein there. You can't do that.
He's been getting a lot of free rein in this game, to be honest.
The amount of space, it's like they're inviting him to score a goal. It's not good enough, this is embarrassing.
Oh.
You can't, mate. He didn't even have to do much skill to get in the box. Yeah. Just let him walk in.
But he's been getting there. He's been the player that they're finding. And again, you lot are playing like left backs and right backs.
It's a joke. It's a joke of a backline.
But then you lot have been in this game, though.
Big time. Yeah, you have.
You have. There was a moment. I think
Brendan Johnson.
Gil, what's it? Brian.
Gil.
He should have found Son in the box. He didn't square it back. Son was getting mental. By the way,
there's 90 minutes. They can't keep this up for 90 minutes.
The Rashford thing really pisses me off because his attitude at the moment stinks. Yeah. His output is piss poor. And then I'm watching Anthony Gordon week in week out run a fucking train on every team he's playing against, and sitting there going,
You're not going to
get picked either way, mate.
I wouldn't be so sure, though.
Disgrace.
I wouldn't be so sure.
It's getting to a point of ridiculous, though, isn't it?
It is, yeah, but I think we're drawing our evidence on the Harry Maguire situation. I think we're ignoring the fact that, yes, okay, we can all put forward an individual name who maybe is more deserving than Harry Maguire, but what we can't do is we can't deny that we haven't got tremendous strength in depth.
But you have to remember
that
Man
position.
City players, not just Harry Maguire, the Man City guy that hasn't played any football, midfielder, Calvin Phillips. What the hell is he doing there?
Brand new Newcastle funny, mate.
But do you know what, though? Do you know what? Again, not saying there's not any, but when you look at maybe the alternatives being Eze, maybe being Conor Gallagher, I'm saying again, it's another position on the pitch where maybe we haven't got the most strength in depth. When you go to the wings, we've got a lot of strength.
No, I'm not having that.
We've got a lot of strength in depth.
I saw a video of you saying that Conor Gallagher's stat-wise and something next to Rice or something like that.
Oh no, I was just
Foden slaps it in from close range.
That was so easy as well.
That was beautiful tiki-taka football.
Thank God for that. Let's talk about Foden.
there's a Conor
I
Gallagher
want
video.
Craig to pipe up about Foden now. He's as good as Bellingham.
I do love Foden.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is, though? This goal, this goal was genuinely just about how poor Spurs defended. Like
waiting for it.
I'm all about celebrating good football, but this was just piss poor from Spurs, in my opinion. Like,
It's a
that's
good run from
embarrassing.
Foden, though.
It's embarrassing, that.
It's a
Look at this. No, he's got acres
That
of
was
space.
Alvarez.
Alvarez.
Yeah.
He's got
acres of
wonderful.
space.
You're not tracking runners.
Alvarez
You're not doing
done
your job.
fantastic
You're not
just
doing
there.
your job.
This is too easy.
Wonderful
No,
run.
no, this is embarrassing.
Acres of space.
This is embarrassing. This like it's good football.
But this is on
fucking
Ange
hell.
though, bro. Like you have to put this on Ange. Like you're playing Royale and Davis at centre back
What
against
else he
City
had,
at
though?
Etihad. Dyer's sitting on the bench, and I'm not I'm not a Dyer fan, but he's a centre back. Like, what are you doing? You're playing City at the Etihad.
I've got to play one way.
Royale is a shit player
There's
in
only
general.
one way to play it.
But what's that got to do with? What's that got
I've
to do
got to
with?
play one way, mate.
What's that got to do with picking a fullback at centre
Got to
back?
go for the high line. It's just sleep and dream about high lines.
Is
mate.
it about Dyer being too slow though? Like, is that what it's about? Like, he's worried about the ball over the top.
Yeah, but look,
and
if
the
you're
pressure.
pinned back like this, what's wrong with having Dyer in your box?
Yeah. That was nearly
Because that's all they're doing. They're defending right now. Look, it's Davis and Royale.
Dyer
They're
makes more sense for sure.
Like,
because
what are you doing?
This is an onslaught now, and what you would be worried about is it becoming like a 5-6-7-0 because right now it's wave after wave.
Yeah,
we're watching the 32nd minute right now as if it's the 85th minute. Like they're piling it on as if they're looking for an equaliser, when in reality, like, the game's good for them right now. They don't have to.
Every Spurs fan that watched Spurs knew that this was going to be about it.
Yeah.
Because you can't play Royale and Davis at centre back. That just doesn't make any
mad,
sense.
Though. Royale.
That's like playing Shaw and Wan-Bissaka at centre back, and then who are your other fullbacks?
With Delo and Regulon.
With Delo and Regulon on either side of them against City at the Etihad. That doesn't make any sense.
Is Højbjerg fit?
Fire him.
Yes.
So he could play. He could fit.
He's
in the
not. He's
centre-back,
playing Lo
couldn't he?
Celso and Basuma, and he's just, I don't know what he's doing, bro.
But Højbjerg could surely do a better job than those wing backs in.
That's what I mean. So what is the manager doing? Because you're not gonna have the lion's share of the possession at the Etihad. You're not gonna do that. Yeah. So you're gonna be pinned back. So why the fuck are you playing two fullbacks at centre back? That doesn't make sense.
Don't need that.
From someone without a horse in the race, though, even though at the end of this we're guessing it's going to mean 4 defeats on the bounce for Spurs, I don't think they're anywhere near to crisis point. Like, I look at the way I've watched all 4 of these
losses. First time in 19 years, right?
I've watched all 4 of these losses, and I'm like, do you know what, though? The identity is still there, that once it starts turning round for you, and it's going to start turning round pretty soon, still think you're going to be up there competing around that top 4 mark.
What about the fact that in all 4 of those games, we went 1-0 up first? What's that?
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, all of them, we went 1-0 up first. Every single one of them were lost.
But Ange, the way that Ange plays, it's always going to be a high-scoring game.
Yeah, but that's bad. You can't go 1-0 up in 4 games and then lose 4 games in a row. Under any circumstance, any way of looking at it, that is bad. And this will be the first time we've lost 4 in a row in 19 years.
Is it a case of careful what you wish for? Because you didn't want the whole defensive style manager.
I want balance. I want balance. I want the overall thing to be attacking front foot football.
Oh no!
But you've got to play some balance, man. Use your brain. Like, this is the Premier League. Goal.
They hit the post twice in this game.
It's going to be 4-1, 5-1.
This game could get nasty.
So we had an Alvarez shot from about 20 yards out there, bangs it off the post. But the worrying thing is
Haaland missed the sitter as well, by the way.
It's the attitude of City right now of like, let's just take pot shots. We're having shooting practice here.
Yeah.
It's getting a bit like we're playing with our food before we eat it.
Yeah.
They are. But they are.
Yeah, but like again though, if you're putting in a battling spirit in performance, you don't want that, and at least then you have some moral victory there.
Tell me in what other team, any other team, a manager can get away with playing 4 fullbacks all across the line against City at the Etihad.
I hear you, but is there a world in which you are, you know, we look back at the way you used to complain under Conte, be careful what you wish for. Like, you wanted free-flowing attacking football. Well, you got Kevin Keegan 2.0 right now.
Right.
You're welcome.
Oh, this
Brian,
is
you know you're a
this is
Brian,
poor
I
from
realised today
Spurs.
that you're a bastard.
Haaland skies it,
Brian,
Rose Eds.
I finally realised today that you're a bit of a
Do you know what?
prick.
I'm really feeling my King of Queens sort of.
It's not being a bastard. That's a very valid question. And what I would say is,
he asks these questions at the right time.
No, but it's a valid
and it just
question.
Good
feels-
podcaster, aren't I?
I think it's a very valid question because Conte and Mourinho, this would never happen under Conte and Mourinho.
Yeah.
You're not going to lose 4 on the bounce, and it didn't happen under them, as bad as the football was. However,
So
the
have you
football was
progressed?
boring to watch.
Have you progressed?
I mean, I think we need a squad to really determine that, because our first 11, we saw what we did in the first 10 games when we had all of our best players available.
Yeah.
But we need a squad.
You've definitely got better this
100%.
season. Even with
Have
4
you?
losses, they've definitely got better.
Can we just explore the worry though, right? as a Newcastle fan, I know a lot about getting beat a lot, right? I'm quite well versed in this. And the one thing that can fuck you over long term, which you guys haven't really, maybe Craig a little bit, when you start getting more and more defeats and you get humped a lot, the confidence, once it goes, it's very hard to get back.
I'm in that place.
I remember just that feeling of being defeated before you're even touching the grass. And all that Big Ange needs to do is just make sure that, like, you don't completely lose the morale of the dressing room and that you keep the spirits high, because, you know,
how do you do that?
Well,
with 4 defeats, and we got West Ham next, which is never an easy game.
This is the point that you're making, though, is the way you do it is by not losing by loads of goals. If you're losing by small margins, there's definitely still ways you can take positives out of that, and so that the dressing room keeps their chin up. But if this turns into 5 or 6 with Newcastle, once we started, I remember under Alan Pardew, once we started losing by 4, 5s, and 6s, it happened more and more and more.
Just to jump on that same conversation, even in the game for us in the Champions League, even when we scored 3 goals, rival fans said we're watching because I still feel Man United might drop points in this game, and that's where it just goes to show there's this thing. Once it becomes part of your team's psychology, it just becomes bad. So he does have to fix this, because when we're winning games, I don't believe we're going to get through it.
It's like it's a lot easier to keep it clean than to take the rock.
I remember, right, as a Chelsea fan, I remember if we were 1 up in the game, I knew we were seeing it out. And even when we went behind, I'd go, we're going to win though. We're going to win. Mate, we were 3-1 up there, and I'm turning around to Brian, I've gone, we're fucking losing this. Like, it's so true. Once it gets into you, it's hard to shift it, mate.
But who was the centre-back pairing for Man United against?
Jill?
Brian, did you ever think you'd be sat round the kickoff table as the one flying high in terms of standing like you got Spurs fan, Man United fan, Chelsea fan.
The last 18 months for me have been great in many ways. That's all I'm going to say. I'm very happy with the kickoff these days, and it honestly, I've never been more happy to do a show.
Do you know who I missed?
I got today. I fucking sprang out of bed. I'm like, well, it's the kickoff.
I miss green screen. Classic. On his own.
Miserable.
This guy is on fire now.
Even after 4 defeats, we're still on the same points as Newcastle. We're 26 points apiece.
And that really shows what a great start you guys had, to be fair to Big Ange. And that's why I personally think that Big Ange is actually a good manager from everything we're seeing. And
okay, but why is he not adapting?
Well,
why is he not adapting? No manager is exempt of criticism. I really like
3
Ange.
months into the job, though.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not disputing that. Like, I like Ange. I'm not saying I want him gone anything remotely close to that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, you can adapt your game. I'm saying you can have a philosophy, be stubborn in your philosophy, and know what you want to play, and know that if you've got a massive injury crisis, still adapt and tweak things. It's the Premier League. You're playing against the best team in the world. They're treble winners. They're at home.
I agree. But on the flip side, I think that Big Ange, leaders are stubborn, right? The good leaders especially are very stubborn. Alex Ferguson, the most stubborn bastard we've ever seen in the Premier League, and the best at the same time. Arsene Wenger, how often did he change his tactics and adapt his game? Never. Do you know what I mean? He was a passing football type of guy, an attacking football type of guy, and I think Big Ange is like of a similar state of mind of I don't give a fuck what I've got, I'm playing my way. And I just think Spurs fans have to just fucking accept this and get on with it.
And I think it will come a lot better.
Okay, so then say Spurs lose the next game against West Ham, and that's 5 in a row, then what?
Then what? Then that's the horse he rode in on. Like when. And you have to ask the question.
He hasn't even dealt with this in his career before.
You have to ask the question as fans, which Man United fans are asking the question right now. Have we seen enough to believe that long term, this is a repeatable process that he's bringing in, that when we get better players and we give them, better support, we are then going to improve in the long term? Or are all these defeats showing us the red flags to mean that this is going badly? And that's why when Newcastle lost to Bournemouth 2-0, I seen creators making videos Eddie's head on the chopping block. I laughed out loud. I thought, do you really think this one defeat tells me anything? Like, we're exhausted. The circumstances are extenuating. We've got a million injuries, just like yourselves. So I'm looking at like Joey always brings up, look at the past to predict the future. Are we going somewhere positive? Are we in the right direction? And is this just a bad speed bump? I think yes, from Spurs right now. Yeah. I think even if you park the bus today, you'd still get butt fucked. So, like,
I don't know about that.
I think
I don't think we'd lose 4-1.
Like, all right, you've got Dyer. Like, is that really going to mean that you're all of a sudden going to win this game? Like,
oh, by the way, Dyer's got a knock. Like, we just checked that he's actually injured.
So even if you park the bus against City, like City are experts at breaking down teams that park the bus. They deal with that every week. So, look,
it's better than being open though, knowing you've got like 4 fullbacks on the pitch playing
I don't think he's deliberately playing open. I think he's actually just got shit defenders, and they're positionally horrendous.
I said this in the match against Chelsea though for Tottenham. I said, like, if Ange looks at the way that Chelsea have been beaten time in, time out this season and says, okay, why don't we do that? And it doesn't work. Then he's going to have to ask himself the question, why on earth did I not just stick to my philosophy? Because more often than not, that's working for me. Yeah. So again, if he does park the bus against City today, and like you say, Brian, he still gets beat, then it's like, I should have just done what I know I'm good at.
Yeah, but then that's where the questions were against Chelsea. He almost nicks a draw, doesn't. You end up getting battered 4-1 in the end because you're playing 9 players on the halfway line. It ended up looking stupid. And then you give Jackson a hat-trick. The biggest stat pad of all time.
If you look at the teams who have had success against City this season, though, it is the ones who've gone a bit for them rather than showing them too much respect. I think Pep Guardiola has a little bit of the Mike Tyson fear factor about him, where a lot of opponents are beaten before the match even takes place. And as we're seeing with Chelsea scoring 4 goals against them proves, like, Chelsea aren't even great at scoring goals, particularly. Their main man.
But they have literally got the better personnel though than everyone as well.
Who's that?
City.
No, absolutely. But what I'm saying is Chelsea scored 4 against City, which proved that if you have a go, there is joy to be had. So I don't know.
Where was that? At Stamford Bridge?
Yeah.
It's different kettle of fish, man. It just said they've lost 1 game in how long at the Etihad?
But
one game
exactly.
God knows how long. They don't lose at the Etihad.
Exactly. So you're fucked either way, though, by your logic. So I think with Big Ange, he's like, do I go down without a fight or do I go down swinging?
I think we do what you said earlier. Lose by a 1-goal margin or something. Don't go here and get battered. If you go there, play high lines, try and play City at their game in their stadium, there's only going to be one outcome usually when you have your full team. So I don't know, man. I feel like if you're going to go there with a depleted squad and try and play, similar football to Pep Guardiola with his strong squad, there's only going to be one outcome, and that's a battering.
Do you not think, though, that he is showing them a bit more respect than he did against, say, for Chelsea? Like, when they were down to 9 men playing that high line, it wasn't...
why, mate? Play the same way.
Look, there's a reason City have had 10 shots to their 1. Like, they are showing them a level of respect here. They are sitting back a bit. You've got Son on the counter-attack. It isn't totally Wild West. And look, 2-1, half-time, you're still in it. So, yeah.
We spoke about Nicholas Jackson just now. Biggest news story of the weekend. You know when we say about high standards, right? Like our team needs to have a bit more high standards and whatever. Does that sum it up?
What? That he needs to get better standards? Are you making a little comment about a certain person? Was it him? Don't know. I've been doing the analysis. I've been doing some very forensic analysis on The Voice. I've been almost doing my sort of like Mission Impossible.
Wait, I don't know what you lot are talking about. I'm fully out the room.
Have you not heard about this?
So there's a Misfits boxing girl called Astrid Wet who you'll have seen.
We know her.
Yeah. Shout out Astrid Wet. No, and do you know what? This girl is a bit of a marketing genius, right? Yes. She's got the internet on strings, right? So credit to her for that. I'm not going to give her credit for live streaming a phone conversation with a professional footballer who I don't think he knew. I don't like that sort of stuff personally. I think it's out of order.
Naughty.
It is, because he obviously doesn't know he's being fucking live streamed.
Yeah, it's out of order.
And after listening to his voice on an interview and then listening to that, I'm like, it's him. Of course it's him.
You didn't need to listen to his voice. He didn't get the nudes over. Yeah. You know it's him. He still don't score. He's not, honestly, he still doesn't.
Think about this, though. You're on $100,000 a week as a professional Premier League footballer.
Yeah.
And you're asking a girl who does sell nudes for probably a few quid a month on her OnlyFans.
Yeah, but it's always better when they're free. It is.
Makes you feel like, you will have to pay for it.
I didn't even know this Astrid Ware. I didn't even know who she was, so I've had to research her. Researched her.
Good excuse.
Researched her twice last night. Researched her twice last night and once again this morning.
Do me a favour. Do me a favour.
Can we just say research?
Yeah.
You're 100 grand a week footballer, roughly, and yet you're doing that. Like, where the fuck? Like, someone needs to get a hold of this guy. Do you know what I mean?
No, but she was saying to him in the thing, she was saying, "Oh, you're going to win for me then," and all this, and it's like, yeah, I'll win now. Astrid Wet is putting it on me. You know what I mean? It's just like, mate, where are the standards? And I'm not even going on about her, the girl. I'm just saying, like, where are the standards? I know footballers have their own personal lives and whatnot, but it's like, come on, man, it ain't a good look.
No, but like, here's the thing: is like, and I'm going to be fairly brutally honest about this. Like, if you're a Premier League footballer, you shouldn't be shagging or trying to shag OnlyFans girls. Like, that ain't your lane.
Oh no, in American American sports, they love that.
Let's not talk about basketballers and NFL players, because those motherfuckers are insane. Right? They're not the standard to be holding yourself to.
Okay,
right? We've all seen Aaron Hernandez's documentary. Like, no, I hear you, right? But
but can I just say, right, you know, when we're talking about character and we're talking about character within the players that we need in our teams, leaders within our teams, I know you can go, hold on, that's his personal life, got nothing to do with football. But I'm drawing a line here. That shows a lack of character, because I'm not being funny. You don't know the girl. You've clearly never met her in person at the time. You need to be aware enough that some people will do this to you. Some people will publicly out you and do that on purpose. You can't be taking that risk, mate. You can't be taking the risk of being on FaceTime. Mate, it could have been worse. And for all we know, it might have been, and she might not put it out. But you know what I mean? Like, you can't be taking them risks, man.
But as a single lad, you know, what has he done wrong? What has he done wrong, really? Like, he's a single guy. He wants a picture. You know, we all want a little picture every now and then.
Just Google them. They're out.
Yeah, they're out there.
Yeah, but you want a personal one. You want one just for you.
No, when you say what's he done wrong, I think wrong isn't the word I'm saying. It's more just like, how mate? You know what I mean? Like, you got to think about the position you're in. If you want to be the leading man for Chelsea and scoring the goal...
No, he was thinking about the position he wants to be in.
I bet you. I bet you. We all know that position. I just think he needs to think about his image a bit, and also, like, what kind of people do you want to be fucking around with? Because it's important that, like, as a young footballer, there's a reason why a lot of the footballers who go all the way to the top, it's pretty much one woman man. Like Harry Kane, for example. Like, they don't...
Or they're smarter about it. That's why you're right. The thing that you lot said earlier, Chelsea needs some leaders, because the leaders would have told him, the Lampards and John Terrys would have say, we don't do it like that, mate.
Don't do that.
Here's the route.
If you look at what Klopp looks for, he's always very particular of, like, what is the personal life of a footballer before, like, we bring them into the club. Like, hence why people like, you know, Mo Salah. I mean, Mo Salah's had his own issues, but in the ideal scenario is the perfect
They
candidate.
all cheat.
Do you know what's ironic about it, though? And what's actually snidey about it as well? If you're banging goals for fun, do what you want, mate. Do what you want. That's my attitude on it. If you're banging goals in, do what you want. If you want a bit of Astrid Wet, have a bit of Astrid Wet. But if you're not scoring, no. Don't be entertaining it.
Hat-trick against Spurs, you know.
I mean, she's a good boxer. She's Misfits champion. So at least one of them is actually real. She's Misfits female champion.
Sharp.
Yeah. Yeah,
I've never even heard of this girl.
Mate, you've let the side down today, Craig. I hope you're happy with yourself. But no, like, she knows. Like, I've got to give credit to her. What a fucking, like, game she's playing, and it wasn't as bad as it could have been. So that's something.
Well, not really. What a game she's playing for her personally, but she's selling herself off as a Chelsea fan. Yeah. You're not a Chelsea fan.
I don't know.
There's loads of them.
But you're not. No, but you're not, because you know that reflects badly on the player. All right, we've all looked at it and it's a bit of a laugh and whatever. But at the end of the day, if you're a Chelsea fan, don't be doing that.
Did she do this with Rudiger or something?
Don't be outing players of your own club.
Yeah,
it's true.
If anything, rewards them.
She's got previous.
Send them.
She's got previous.
Send the nudes. BC, see me in though, so I know there's no funny business going on here.
You've got to respect her economy, and bro, at the end of the day, this is...
When I watched Jackson today, I was like, yeah, you're still shit.
He looked tired, you know, he looked like he'd been getting quite a lot of pictures all night.
Well, you know,
been up all night on self-care.
At least that would have made a sense of the whole situation, because watching him and Mudryk just fumble the ball regularly... getting a bit sick of it.
Chelsea fans, are you not gonna? I know we'll get to this game that we're watching right now, but Osimhen in January, you lot gonna go in and because he's not happy at the moment.
He's not.
Says he only got 2 shirts as a kid, a Chelsea one and a Man United one, which is random. But he's got those 2 shirts at home. Would you lot want your team to go in, or you think just wait for Nkunku to come in?
I don't think Nkunku's an all-out number 9, although that doesn't mean that I think we need to play with an all-out number 9. If you look at Mauricio Pochettino's history as a manager, even when you go back to like Southampton, he had Ricky Lambert, Graziano Pella. He was always liked a strong physical number 9. Maybe Bro will be the man. Maybe Nkunku can play in that false 9. But if you said to me now, can we go and get Osimhen, and it's feasible, and he wanted to come to us, then yeah, cool. So I'm not going to look at what I've seen over today and over some of the games this season and not think we're crying out for a number 9 that can put the ball in the back of the net. Ultimately, so's half the Premier League, more than that. So do I think it's feasible? Do I think we can actually go and get him? I don't think so. Napoli are still in the Champions League. They're still hoping to get Champions League spots in Serie A. I think it'd be really, really hard to get him out of there. And I think that if we go and spend all of our transfer budget or more on that one player, I was saying this earlier, I actually think we need about 3-4 signings, and that sounds mental. But I actually do think we need definitely 3. I think we need 3 signings. And how mad is that? Because how much have we spent?
1 billion.
$1 billion. $1 billion. I've heard it 1 billion times, but we spent 1 billion.
3-4 signings, Craig. 3-4 signings for Chelsea.
It's insane. Why would they need more signings? Why?
No, mate. Like, I agree. But I'm saying, I'm looking at the team and we do.
I agree with you.
We actually do. We need
Where?
3 25-year-olds coming in.
Silva should not be in that fucking team.
We need 3 25-pluses coming in. We need someone, I think, for the end of I think we can get by this season, but for the back line, we need someone in the back line because Chalobah's going, Silva's going, and then we're left with 4 defenders, and we need more than that, right? In terms of centre-backs. I'm not sure at the minute, and it's mad because we've spent 100 million on 2 of them, I'm not sure if the midfield is a little bit lightweight at the minute. Look at Conor Gallagher getting sent off today. Caicedo really didn't have a good game today. Enzo got on the score sheet twice, and it was one of his better games in recent times, but he's still giving the ball away, and obviously we need a number 9. So when you say where, right through the core of the pitch, that's where we need 3 signings. I'd love them all to be 25 or older and come in. Do I think we'll get that? Do I think that's realistic? No, but, that's what I'm looking at.
The 2 in the middle, the £100 million lads, I'm not like watching them going, you've really got a pair in there that look like they're made to play together. It doesn't look like it's working right now.
I do think, though, and I'm not writing off Pochettino being the man to do this because sometimes some managers take a little bit longer to get this. Not every manager can be an Eddie Howe, an Unai Emery, someone like that comes in, transforms the club overnight. But I do think that a player is often what a manager makes them into and moulds them into, No one was singing from the rooftops about Joe Linton. Now look at him. No one was singing from the rooftops about so many of the players in that Newcastle team, in the Aston Villa team, that now we're looking at and we're going, God, they look like world-beaters all of a sudden. So I do think that both Enzo and Caicedo have the possibility to get there. And I do think when you look at their age, but how long do we wait for the vision to arrive? You know what I mean? Because by the time it does get here, what sort of position are we in at that point? And I sound very doom and gloom off the back of it. We've won today. Like, I want to be more happy about it. But I do think that I'm absolutely buzzing. We've won today. I think we're going to win against Man United on Wednesday night. I'm sorry to say it. I do think we are.
I think I might be doing a stream for that with Joey.
But I do look at today's performance and I'm like, more questions rather than answers.
Well, do you know what it said to me? You're 10th in the league on 19 points. About right. Like, when I watched Chelsea play, it's because it was so expected that they would have a good season. At first, you were like, yeah, it's a bit hit and miss, but you got to give them time. And the longer this goes on, you're like, hit and miss is exactly where you are, and hit and miss is 10th.
Do you think we see any Do you think we see any real consistent runs this season? Let's say, for example, we saw Spurs go. How many games unbeaten? Was it 11? 10 games unbeaten. Obviously, we're seeing other teams get runs together where they're not being beaten. Newcastle are looking good at the moment. Do you think there's a point this season when Chelsea win... Let's not even go wild. Do you think there's a point this season when Chelsea win 3 league games in a row?
Well, you've won 1 already. I'm worried about the game against us. I'm not going to lie. If we play anything like we played against Newcastle, we're in for a battering. And then that's 2. And who've got after that?
Sheffield United after that.
Oh, there it is.
That could be the 3 there, mate.
No.
It could literally be the 3.
It could be. But like, for example, when we beat Spurs and other times this season when we've won games, Burnley, for example, when we've won certain games, Fulham, and then who is it we beat straight away after? I was always thinking, okay, now we're going to put a run together. And we just seem to not get there. And when I look at Mauricio Pochettino's first season at Spurs, I think it took him until the 23rd game of the season till he finally went on that run when he won 3 on the bounce. So
I thought that was great research you did. I watched your channel. Shout out to Joy's channel. We got a big up because you went into the first season with Poch and how that went, and it really did open my eyes to it. But then I thought, yeah, but Spurs' squad compared to Chelsea's squad, the expectations were completely different. For me, the reason the inconsistencies are there are looking at Silva in the back. He's just looking too old now for me. And then going forward with the inconsistencies of Sterling, Mudryk, and Jackson, I'm like, the only way you're going to start being consistent is if you buy a striker who guarantees you goals, who you can actually rely on. Because it is so... I haven't got a fucking clue what your team is going to perform like week to week now. God knows what the Chelsea fans...
Neither do I.
Can we talk about Eddie Howe? Because I wanted to say, I've decided...
Sir Eddie Howe, innit?
So you said you weren't going to finish in the top 4 as well. Do you apologise?
Well, I said 5th, I think. But yeah, I still think we're struggling because of the squad depth. But... what I'm now seeing from Eddie Howe is those long-term processes put in place, consistent growth in other footballers. And the thing that worried me last season was when we lost against Hughes in the Cup and other big teams got one over on us. I felt like we're just not quite at that level. And even now, with how ravaged we are by injuries, in the last 3 games, the way we performed against PSG, Man United, Chelsea, and the way we performed earlier in the season against big teams has given me the hope to go, okay, when you get a few more top players, which is going to happen, Eddie Howe is capable of winning the Premier League. I'm not saying he's going to win the Premier League, because I think that in order to take a Premier League title away from a Pep Guardiola, it's like prying...
It's the best time.
It's like prying fucking something out of God's hands, right? He practically he owns that thing at this point. It's very hard. But what I'm saying is, as a manager, he has got the ability to win league titles. He's as good as they come. Maybe not quite Pep level yet, and I don't know if he ever will be. But he doesn't have to be Pep level.
Pep level's crazy. As
well. You don't have to be.
But what the point I'm making is Pep just has to have a dip. And Eddie Howe has the ability to be better than Pep for a season. I think that is actually... And people might think I'm crazy. I think he's one of the... If not one... He's one of the most talented English football managers that I've ever seen in my life. Because if you look at the great teams that we've seen in Premier League history, English football managers, Kevin Keegan and Bobby Robson were those guys. And I watched them closely. But they didn't have the battle and the tactical sensibility that Eddie Howe has to combine gritty, dogged determination to keep defensively sound, but also to play fast attacking football going forward. We're looking, it's very Jurgen Klopp.
It's how you control the culture, though. It's how you control the culture. At the moment, you can tell everyone's bought in. You see when like what he said with Anthony Gordon, that thought of, I just want to impress Eddie Howe. When you start to go the creme de la creme in players, which I don't think you should really do. I think how you're building is correct.
So how we need to control the culture is to buy high-quality younger players, not too young, but ones with a point to prove who haven't achieved. So Sven Botman, Bruno Guimaraes, Tonali before the ban, and Isak. They're all of that exact profile where you're going to be one of the better players in world football, but you need a manager to impress who you can respect because you haven't achieved more than him. That's one of the main mistakes Man United have made. They've brought players in like Varane, Ronaldo, and all these Casemiro who've achieved far more. They look at Ten Hag and they're like, who the fuck are you, mate? We can't be doing that kind of... and I know people might think I'm crazy, but like I'm looking at the progress from day one and thinking, battling relegation, top 4. We're so ahead of schedule. And then when we enter the Champions League, we've struggled a little bit. But in every game, we're in this game.
That's a tough group.
We had the group of death, and yet the team that were the most feared, we've taken 4 points from, and the only reason we didn't take 6 is because of the last minute. We literally dealt with Mbappe, Mbappe didn't get a fucking kick in 2 games of football against us. Kieran Trippier has still got him in his back pocket till this day. So I'm looking at how we deal with some of those better players in world football and looking at the way Eddie Howe consistently, tactically, is dicking down some of these managers and going, all right, you can't compete with Pep yet because you don't have the quality he has. And the same with Jurgen Klopp and maybe Arteta. But how far away are you from doing that? And when you do that, look at how much Arsenal struggled with us earlier this season. Look at how much Liverpool went within minutes of losing to us. And even City didn't dominate us at all. We held our own against them. The ability in Eddie Howe is there, and I think he can win. I think he can win a Premier League title.
You know, when we look at Eddie Howe, right, and this is another thing, and looking at Newcastle in general at the moment, I remember Man City's rise when they went on their way to winning a first Premier League title, and the foundations were laid a couple of seasons before they actually won it. Because a couple of seasons before, I remember like Adebayor sprinting the whole pitch.
I love that.
Couple of seasons before, what Man City started doing is, okay, they couldn't maintain it over a 38-game season, but they started going into more or less every single match with the big boys, with the top 4 it was back then, being really competitive. Half the time they're winning, but they're never like outclassed in those matches. And Newcastle are so ahead of schedule in doing that, because now you put Newcastle in a one-off game with absolutely anyone. You go, there's every chance Newcastle are winning this. And the record so far, when you look at the Champions League games as well, the record's suggesting you're going to either win, or even in a match like against PSG, you're going to come out here, I know this is the term people don't like, but as the moral victors, you know what I mean? So I think that little stage in the progression that we saw when Liverpool went on to win the first Premier League title, when Man City won the first one under new ownership, well, not new now, but when Man City won the first one, them little steps of actually really competing in the big matches with the bigger teams, that's where we're already at with Newcastle. So I would say, do you know what? And this, some people might disagree with this. I think they'll do it quicker from point of takeover than Man City did. In fact, I'm sure they'll do it quicker.
Wow.
What did it take Man City? 5 years?
5 years.
Big claim.
5 years. Newcastle will do it quicker.
Wow. So we're about a year and a half.
What are you basing that on? So are you basing that on them getting new signings in, really improving the squads? Like,
I'll give you an example of what's a game changer. 40 million quid a year from Adidas. All of the extra sponsors that are from Saudi, but the Adidas deal is mega. We were getting previously that about 5 million a year from that fucking other Castori. So the amount of money we can spend is going to go up tremendously.
Obviously, Man City will have the edge because the financial fair play rules weren't hindering them anywhere near as much back then as now Newcastle's are. But when I look at the squad of the takeover, bearing in mind, like, let's be honest, like a lot of this Newcastle team were still there before the takeover. And when I look at the squad, and it's very similar to what I link it back to with Chelsea, right? Chelsea were a cup side, yeah? We were getting in and around the top 4. We were a cup side before our takeover. What that meant in terms of being a cup side that were winning cups, 5 trophies in 5 years before Abramovich's takeover, is we had players in that team that had a good mentality and a good mindset to already win. I don't think Man City had that at that time. I'm not discrediting the personnel they had there. They have Mika Richards there, a couple of others. I'm not discrediting them, right? But what Newcastle already have without bringing any of the new ones in is they have those players that have that dogged mentality, that willingness to fight already. And I think that in acquiring those players and bringing it out of the players that were already there, like a Fabian Schär and other players, I think they're at that point a little bit quicker than Man City.
You know, when you say mentality, that's exactly what makes me think it's going to happen. And I said, Bobby, even as a kid, a delusional child, I never thought we'd win a fucking trophy. I never believed it. This is the first time I'm like, we're going to fucking win a trophy. And the reason being,
might win a Carabao Cup.
But like,
hopefully not.
To be fair,
Put Chelsea next round.
I can see us winning a trophy in the next year or two straight up, because that mentality of never say die. And when I remember watching the Leicester City team, there was this thing where they just kept winning and winning. And every time you thought they were going to slip up, they weren't. And I look at us right now and the profiles and the way Bruno Guimaraes and Joe Linton.
Oh no, what's he done? Criminal.
We're back underway. What a save!
What's happened so far is they've taken off
their winger
Brian Gill for
Højbjerg, yeah.
Very strange.
We've gone from a 4-2-3-1 to a 4-3-3, I think. He's
good save from the
keeper on the wing.
This was Bernardo into the top corner with the outside of his boot. It was beautiful.
And great. Do you know what? Despite what we say about how players' mindset should be and how they should think, I very much doubt outside of 3-4 clubs, there's 3 teams or 4 teams in the Premier League this season when if you go in their dressing room, the whole squad entirely believe that they're going to go on and win a Premier League title. I'm not on about this season. I'm just on about in general. Maybe you look at Chelsea and you say, you got a young, Liverpool do, City do, and Arsenal do. And I'm telling telling you now, I really do feel like Newcastle do. I'm not saying they think it this season.
What's the average age of the Newcastle squad?
I want to say it probably on average we're at about 25-year-old.
24, 25.
Yeah, because we've got a few young'uns, but then we've got a few senior guys, so it's somewhere in the middle.
Good mix.
Because Trippier is such an important player, but he's getting on, isn't he?
In the game yesterday, it was 27.
Mate, Kieran Trippier, Jesus Christ. Like, the lack of respect for him out there right now is insane. This is one of the greatest English fullbacks of all time right now. Like, in the world,
so?
Mate, and that response from you is exactly what I'm talking about, and I don't mean it as a dig, but if you look at the ability to play a ball, the ability to take a free kick, the crossing ability, and more so, the defensive ability, we're talking about
And
someone
leadership.
who pocketed Mbappe 2 games back to back. Like, the bloke was just an average fucking left winger, right? Every single game, I have so much faith and confidence in this guy. He's in the all-time great Newcastle team already. He's already there. But I just can't understand why, like, I don't know what it is about him, why he isn't held in the esteem that he should. Maybe it's because he went to La Liga and he won a title there.
There's so many good.
Not just that, it's because he played at Spurs for years and he didn't win anything with Spurs.
Well, I think the Spurs version of Trips, ironically, even though it was a good version, Simeone changed him. Simeone brought the best out in him.
But didn't he play in the Champions League final for us?
Yeah, he won a La Liga title, obviously, and he did it against the best of the best. That was when Barca and Real Madrid were motherfuckers. I can't believe how
he's a really good leader, and I think that's one thing that we can see from him is really good leadership, great mindset as well, and he's hungry, you know. So that's the kind of a player you talk about. What Reece James offers. This guy offers a lot. The problem with that he has is there's so many.
Mate, I'm not having it anymore. On form, Kieran Trippier is best defender England have. Any fucking position. Any fullback, any centre-back, Kieran Trippier is outperforming everyone. The man's pocketed Mbappe back-to-back and made him look bang average. So much so, Mbappe did this scathing interview after the Newcastle game, like, they have nothing, they just want to defend, all of that. It's like, bro, you're frustrated because you ain't doing shit against us, because you're up there. And remember, who was Kieran Trippier next to? He's next to Fabian Shaw and Jamal Lascelles. We paid 3 and 4 million for these guys.
And you know, when you said about him going under the radar, an element of that is, right, we're all talking about what a good defender he is, but if I go to you now, oh, right, tell me the best creative players in the Premier League, right, this season. You'll go, okay, Odegaard, and you'll say a load of players before you get to the man who it might have changed after this weekend, but before this weekend, statistically, most chances created in the Premier League was by
Kieran Trippier.
Kieran Trippier.
And by the way, I put a bet on before the Man United game for an assist for Kieran Trippier. Cashback.
Nice.
So who are you having at your team if you could have one? Kieran Trippier or Kyle Walker?
I think the better question to ask me is Kieran Trippier or Reece James.
Who are you starting? Let's all do our back fours for England then.
Go on,
Because I'm very interested to see what you think. Go on, who would you put?
He's not in there.
No, do you know what? I think I would.
I'd be able to fit both of them in.
I think I would put Kieran Trippier in there, and I'll tell you why.
He's been playing him at left back.
Because I think you can play him at left back, and also I do think that you can play Kyle Walker in the middle, like in the middle of a back four as well. But I will say one thing, right?
Sound like
Kieran Trippier. One thing I would say with Kieran Trippier is dead balls are going to be massively important in tournaments. And at the minute, when Kieran Trippier steps up to take a free kick, I know that free kick is on target at minimum.
Absolutely.
At minimum, it's on target.
It off the bar.
I was so scared. I was like, oh no, Onana doesn't need this right now.
The issue is I understand that, like, Trent has got outrageous talent, Walker the same, Reece James the same. I'm not denying that they're great. All I'm saying is Trippier's outperforming them all with no doubt in my mind right now.
He's the starting right back for
but I'm not saying that's going to happen because of the legacy of Kyle Walker. Like, he's achieved a lot, and I understand that there's favouritism and all of that. But if we're talking about form right now, like, I'm looking at Kieran Trippier going, I wish this guy wasn't 33 because you are so fucking good. It's a joke.
Those players you just named, though, who's the best up here? It's Trippier.
No,
I know we don't know what goes on in people's heads, and I know Kyle Walker. I know there's a very close shout there, Kyle Walker. But I look at Kieran Trippier and I'm like, I think you're the best mentally out of all of them as well. I think you're the most.
After what Kyle Walker's achieved in his career, you got to say he's number one.
Like, and even when they both played for Spurs, Trippier 8 bench.
Yeah, Kyle Walker's different.
But regardless, I think that Kieran Trippier is the best fullback I'm watching in world football right now. It's insane how good he's performing this. At 33, I can't wrap my fucking head around it. Like, I sound like a fucking lunatic.
So who's your back four for England then? Do it.
I mean, they're fucking.
Harry's in there.
Harry's in there.
It's a shit debate because like the centre backs are just not good, and we've always been chopping and changing them. We've never really had.
We're talking about
a settled back
four. I'm trying to get my Eddie Howe shit on. I'm trying to give my guy some props.
No, listen.
Fucking hell.
Do you know what?
You didn't respond to him saying
I know. I don't agree with him. I'm gonna be real. I don't agree with him. I don't agree with him. But
tell me
what. No. Like, I don't think Eddie Howe, in my opinion, can get to Pep Guardiola's level and dethrone Pep Guardiola. That's my opinion. However, one thing I will say is, like you said, with the amount of money you've spent on the players you've had, like you just named the two centre-back pairing that played against PSG, how much he spent on them. The fact that he's getting these players to play at the level they're playing at, not just tactically, but just the effort and commitment they're giving in for this Newcastle side, you have to take your hats off at Eddie Howe because we don't know what he could potentially do with a lot more money or better resources. However, though, because for me, it felt like you was jumping straight to Pep when you've still, like you said, got Klopp and Arteta there, and I don't know if he's better than either. Well, he's definitely not better than Klopp. So
it's not necessarily about
Emery and Unai.
Is he better than Unai as well? That's the question.
But what we're talking about isn't necessarily like I can't prove anything I'm saying. I'm speculating on the data that I have.
Prove it.
And I'm going, I can see Eddie Howe because of certain things. So take, for example, you mentioned Pep. How many Pep players have we seen ushered out the door because they weren't good enough for him? He didn't have to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. Eddie Howe's been doing that. And Pep Guardiola point blank refuses to do that. He's like, give me the champagne budget.
Because some people walk into their greatness, man. Some people don't need to go through the trenches to get there. They're just that good.
But what I'm saying is that Eddie Howe is showing right now that if he is then given a similar budget, oh, you're in trouble.
Not only does he make good signings as well, like, I think that the player management, when you look at, we're all singing from the rooftops about Anthony Gordon, and rightly so, but I've said it before, I brought up the time when, do you remember when Anthony Gordon got subbed off against Brentford and he had a little bit of a touchline spat with Eddie Howe when he came off the pitch? And I remember thinking, because we had heard about attitude problems around Anthony Gordon before that, and I remember thinking, maybe that's why Chelsea didn't go for Anthony Gordon, maybe he's got a bit of an attitude problem, and he showed it there with Eddie Howe on the touchline there. And look, like straight away, there's no issue, I'm not digging out Ten Hag, but there's no banishing, there's nothing like that. You're back in, you work hard, and now look how he speaks about him. Not only that, players like Jamal Lascelles.
Two people have to exist in that moment, because Gordon had to have the right attitude as well.
Of course, but then we look at but then we look at the common denominator, because okay, you can't go on that one case study because it could have been for both. What about Jamal Lascelles? He's playing for Newcastle before Eddie Howe even comes in. Eddie Howe comes in, Jamal Lascelles is sitting on the bench. But then when called upon, Jamal Lascelles has the right attitude to be able to come in, take his chance, and still believe in his manager. They're just two players. I'm not a Newcastle fan. They're just two players. There's
been explanations for how he maintains these relationships with the back lads, the ones who aren't necessarily picked first. And he always makes them feel included, makes them feel loved. He deliberately kept Jamal Lascelles as captain. As official club captain, even when he was on the bench, because he valued the leadership. He makes you feel valued even if you're not starting every game. And we've heard from the likes of Joe Willock, who's also said, when I was injured, Eddie Howe was in touch every single day for months on end. Look, I can't prove anything I'm saying, but I just think that you can look at what you're saying with this insane transformation that's way ahead of schedule, with this less than 10 Hag spent, barely, but less. And
leave us alone.
And the fact that he's outperforming so many managers, and I'm thinking, when you've got the same level of weaponry, which is coming, as Klopp, Arteta and Pep, well, then you're in for it then, because you're already giving them a fight already.
Can I do a counterpoint to that, though? In that, the question I have for you is, can Eddie Howe deal with the level of petulance of a player like Mbappe? Because let's be no bones about this.
You're talking about an extreme example.
Okay, let's maybe not Mbappe, but I'm talking about like all of the boys
players,
you've got.
Egos.
All of the boys you've got at the moment are boys that are desperate to be at Newcastle, desperate to be in the Champions League. They're so chuffed to be there. You've got, Jacob Murphy literally smiling like a Cheshire cat because he's so happy to be in the Champions League, hearing the anthem. I just think that there's going to be a moment, and this is an unanswered question about Eddie Howe, and this isn't a criticism of him because we don't know the answer, but
good player.
How is he going to be able to deal with the egos? And this is the thing, right? When you look at all of these signings, Arsenal have got egos, Liverpool have got egos, United have got egos, like, it's almost it has to come. It almost has to be that point where you've got to get these big players, big name players that sell the shirts, that are there representing your club. You won't be able to move on and go to the next level. And so this is the question. And do you know what? Eddie Howe might very well be able to solve the question here, but it's a question that we don't have the answer for, and it's something that I do worry about because Eddie Howe needs that sort of like collective buy-in, and if he doesn't get that, then you might start seeing some cracks form in the squad.
The one thing that you will get though that Newcastle have on their side is the atmosphere and fans. They do have that Anfield feeling, and it'll be better because Anfield like they sing the song and it gets a bit quiet. You know what I mean? These lot, like they've been taking off their shirts in the winter the whole time.
A lot of
players are gonna come. A lot of players will like really warm to that kind of environment.
Well, you talk about big names
and give their all.
We've got two midfielders starting for Brazil. Pretty big, right? Brazil, pretty big team. Like Bruno Guimaraes, also, there's something about him, and I only sort of realised it in the last 2 weeks. I was like, you're like fucking Roy Keane, you. But you're like fucking...
chill out.
I swear down. He's like a...
Come on.
He's like a fucking... You
said some stuff. You said Eddie Howe. You said that's getting too far. They want to bring in a sin bin into football. Listen. You just said Pep Guardiola and Eddie Howe, and we let that one go, and it was a mad one. We said, he's happy at the moment.
No, I'm not saying...
What you're doing right now is crazy.
You're misinterpreting what I'm saying. I'm not saying that Eddie Howe is as good as Pep. I'm not saying Bruno is as good as Roy Keane. I'm saying that in a season, Eddie Howe can finish above Pep Guardiola with more investment. I believe he's got it in him. And when I look at Bruno Guimaraes, I'm reminded of the way Roy Keane used to play football. I'm not saying he is going to achieve what Roy Keane did. However, I think he's got other things to his game that Roy Keane didn't have. I think this guy has got all the fucking ability needed to be one of the best midfielders. And I've said this from day one, from early on. But now, there's been moments where I'm like, you remind me. Remember Roy Keane against Juventus?
Yeah.
One man on a mission.
Yeah.
Bruno's like that at times. He really fucking is.
You can have that.
He's saying a lot of stuff
But
today.
here's the thing is, if he was playing for Manchester United right now, every Man United fan
We'd love him.
Would be watching him going, he's like a Brazilian Roy Keane. His style, his combative, yet very tidy, doesn't make a lot of mistakes, keeps the team morale. He's a boss.
But can I say something though? In terms of him and who's the other one? Joe Linton? Is that the other one that starts for Brazil?
Yeah.
Respectfully, I think that just says more about Brazil right now because even fucking Richarlison plays for them. So does Jesus. Like the Brazilians of today.
And Anthony,
it's not the Brazil.
They're in the
do not
sixth place.
This Brazil is not Brazil that I grew up in. I don't know what this Brazil
I rate
is.
what you're saying.
And that's not to disrespect the players you just brought up because they're good players. But I'm just saying, like, we grew up on like Galactico Brazilian.
And however, there's less big stars than there's ever been in football, and football is now more about building a team culture than it's ever been. And Joe Linton is not your typical Brazilian, right?
Bruno is special, but not Roy Keane.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's going to have that level of career, but for me, if you're talking about pure footballing ability, I'm talking not as the character of Keane, not the X factor that made Keane. I'm talking about if you're judging them both on footballing ability, Bruno Guimaraes, by the end of his career...
He looks better to watch than Roy Keane,
Exactly.
Bruno. He's definitely better to watch. Better to watch. Silkiness. Roy Keane was not silky, bro. Let's be real.
Drugs. This is insane what we're doing.
Was Roy Keane silky?
It doesn't matter because
but that's what we're talking about.
No, I don't care, guys. When you talk about a midfielder...
I like my footballers to look good as well.
No, because it's important. We can't now diminish. Right now, we're doing some diminishing work.
That's not diminishing. Saying I don't like
taking it is diminishing. Right now, you can't let you. He doesn't get to get close to him. You can't be next to me. I'm Roy Keane. What I've achieved in the game until go away, go and achieve some stuff.
What he's achieved is incredible. You're right.
Exactly. And
I'm only talking about aesthetically. That's all I'm talking about.
You see Sir Alex heartbeat on the pitch. It's Roy Keane.
You had 10 heartbeats. Let's not do that.
Do you know what? No, Roy Keane is the heartbeat.
No, you had a lot of heartbeats in that team.
Roy Keane is like Alex Ferguson on the pitch. No, it's facts.
I'm not
facts. So we can't play around. When we talk about players,
you had Scholes, you had Beckham, you had Ruven.
I'm not hearing it. The reason
I don't want to hear Bruno Guimaraes' name next to Roy Keane's.
Because the reason I'm talking about Roy Keane is I'm using him as a great example of a footballer.
I don't like it.
He has a great player who achieved everything.
I don't like it.
And Bruno Guimaraes has a lot of those characteristics.
I think this is disingenuous. I can't believe what's going on at this table. I'm disgusted. I understand what Craig's doing right now. I don't know what Craig's doing.
I'm
You
just
right
saying
now,
he's got a stake.
you're riding a
Nice
you're
to
riding
watch,
a high,
that's it.
and you smashed us yesterday. So I'm sitting here taking a lot. I'm sitting here just taking it. But what? That's getting a step too far.
No,
it's not happening. I'm not doing it. No.
We have to accept though. Like,
Yes, I am.
Sometimes you can compare a player that you're watching now to a great football and go, he's quite like him. Like, is that not allowed now?
I don't think
Is
so.
Roy
I
Keane,
think there's some
like,
players that you got to leave out.
Roy
I think
Keane
there's
is not
some players-
Ronaldinho.
I think
Roy
some players
Keane is not Neymar,
but he's
Ronaldo.
Great though.
No, but
he's
But
great.
the point is about Roy Keane's
This is
footballing
ridiculous.
ability was it wasn't Roy
Why do
Keane.
you say like Lampard or Ballack or?
Hey, yeah,
Why do you say any of
Who
these
is he?
players?
Who is he most
Lampard's
like?
in that- Lampard's in the
Why
same
do you
realm.
mention those ones, bro?
Lampard's
I'm
Lampard's
saying
better than Roy Keane.
talk about Roy Keane with the correct energy, and I'm saying Bruno in his tender career that he's having, and he's doing well, and I
James
like him.
Milner.
Roy Keane and
But let's
Lampard got
chill
something
out.
in common though.
Let's chill
Both
out.
shit managers.
No, but what you
Shit,
just said
manager.
about Keane is exactly what I'm talking about when you
Yeah.
go, he is the manager on the pitch.
Yeah.
Like, he controls the game.
don't like
And
it, though.
Bruno is doing that. And I look at Bruno and I think, you could play for Real Madrid or anyone. Fuck knows why we're the lucky ones who get to have you.
Yeah.
But he's world class.
Can I just say something? I know we're talking about Newcastle just while we're on the game. I like what Andrew's done here, though. He's changed it at half
Look
time.
here. Look
I'm
here.
just saying, though. Yeah, but I'm
Yeah,
not. There's
fraud.
nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. I'm happy to backtrack on things. If I feel like I'm wrong, I'll correct
I rate
myself.
that,
And
fair enough.
What I'm saying is, he's made a change. He took Brian Hill off. He put Højbjerg on. And we've been in the game.
We have been in the game.
We've
Looked
got
a lot
more control of the game. We've looked better. And this is what you was criticising Ten Hag about, not in these big games against big teams, showing that.
And you're in.
Spurs are in.
And can you score?
No, he's fucked
Oh,
it.
he's fucked
penalty.
it.
Fucked it. No, he's fucked
Penalty,
it.
why?
He's offside anyway.
He's offside.
Oh, he was
He's
offside,
offside.
all the time.
But yeah, like managers, good managers being able to see something in a game, make a little tweak, and then readjust. And Ten Hag just doesn't do that.
I don't know what. I think we finished the Man United section.
No,
I don't
I'm
know
just
why
saying,
we're-
though.
I don't know how we're in this.
I think Bruno,
why are we here again?
Bruno, the man manager on the pitch, would have changed that.
Do you know what it is,
well,
right?
We would have done the tactics.
Do you know my
Yeah,
favourite
yeah.
bit of it? I didn't even bring him up, but I had in my notes, I was like, ask KG if Onana still turned a corner.
Oh my God, you said he turned a corner, innit?
Said he turned
Mate. Do you know what?
Bro, it's a bloody
can we talk
roundabout.
about
It was
that?
a roundabout,
I haven't
definitely.
seen you since when that cross comes into the box and he grabs it and throws it into his own net.
Did you see the thing? Did you see it against Newcastle, the starfish one?
Oh yeah,
I'm
yeah.
done. I think we bought. I hate to say this, yeah, because they say that I'm one of the most reaction persons on YouTube, yeah, but it's true. Karius, I feel like we bought Karius. This is honestly,
We've got him if you
with
want him as well.
Liverpool. We don't want that. With what Liverpool did, Liverpool got to the final and they said. They had Karius in and they said, oh, we can't do this because we plan to go back here. The problem with Onana is he's got that mistake in him. And you're like, is he going to do this all the time? The one, you could see the breakdown in trust. The low, when the ball goes over the top,
He doesn't
and
trust
the
his
low
keeper.
doesn't trust him.
Yeah.
And the low's like all over the place, almost gives away a handball. Vash could have said, hey, that's handball there. And why? Because they're not trusting the goalkeeper. These guys gave everything against Copenhagen and it went terrible. They gave everything versus Galatasaray. And even as people say, they didn't come over to pick him up, hug him. And it happened. Same with Karius. When Karius made a mistake in the Champions League final, the Liverpool fans, they say you never walk alone. They left him alone that day. Yeah? And I promise you, that was a telling sign. And Man United, to leave him and to continue, and my managers backed him like he's backed Rashford. I'm scared. I'm very worried. Luckily, AFCON's coming.
Mid-February, I'm glad you said AFCON. Mid-February, is Onana back in the first team for Man United?
Yeah.
Listen,
He will be.
Buying deer. He's got to play here, bro. I'm telling you right now, buying deer. And now I'm even thinking about Heaton, bro. I shouldn't be thinking about these guys, but this is what I'm thinking about. And I want us to play this guy early. I want us to play the other goalkeeper. Just have a look.
Oh my God.
We just need to have a look. That's all.
It's like
have a look.
it's like Fabian Barthez all over again back in
It's
the day.
scary.
And
No,
the
he's
thing about
worse.
like this is the thing, right? Is I've seen a few Man United fans going, "Oh well, David De Gea made mistakes as well."
This
I'm
is
like,
taking it.
this is the next
Not
level.
to that level.
This mistake he made in the Champions League, it looked like match fixing. It was so bad.
It looked like
I
Ivan
genuinely
Toney.
was like, we need to
Like
investigate.
Ivan Toney took it, and
Yeah.
Ivan Toney and Tonali took a few. They
Yeah.
fancied it.
Brian, you read some statistics earlier on about Man United, and one you didn't read out, mentioning the Champions League, 14 goals conceded in the group stage.
good, so-
And do you know what? I'd say about 80% of them were down to Onana mistakes. But the mad thing is, the mad thing is, right, maybe they did, but I doubt whoever recruited him at Man United were watching him that much in Serie A anyway. It was mostly off of his Champions League performances of Inter Milan. He made team of the tournament, didn't he? Now you look at him in this season's Champions League and it's just been shocking.
No, but he was good at Ajax as well. He was good at Ajax. He was good at Ajax.
But let's theorise that he was really good, but he made the odd clanger. You could logically go, all right, you're going to get the odd one, but he's world class other than that. He's not even that good. Nah. It's not like he's playing really well then having these mistakes. Like, he has the odd good game here and there. I'm not saying it hasn't happened, but he's...
I like it. You know what? And trust me, I was so excited. And even like Africans in general, we like the feeling, the warmth of, oh my goodness. And especially for Man United, we haven't historically had a lot of African players. So we're really excited about this moment. An African player in goal. Let's go. You know what I mean? But then now, I got Nigerians and stuff that call in my show on a regular, and they can't believe it. No. They say, no, this is beyond us. Like, it's hard, it's painful, but then now the manager's sticking with him. When he goes to AFCON, I pray that the new guy takes a spot, and then he just take him out the firing line, and he has to win the shirt back. That's what he has to do, win his shirt back, because at the moment he doesn't deserve it.
Is there a possibility that David De Gea returns to Man United?
No, because it's getting backwards. Yeah. It's getting backwards.
If he was still there,
he's available.
Wait, is there a possibility at Man United? Absolutely.
Do you see the emoji tweeted out?
Everything. What did he do?
The frozen emoji.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
He keeps using emojis recently. That's his new language.
It's basically like he's clearly making a reference to what's going on at Man United every time.
It's cold.
I do think, yeah. I mean, it must be weird to be him because he was, I don't know if club legend is the word, but like we've got to give him his respect. For the longest time, when Man United went through all those shit managers, he was the one who kept you in the top 10, right? And yeah, it tailed off towards the end and there was some mistakes, but nothing like the Onana level of mistakes. He must think, didn't get a testimonial, not even a go fuck yourself on the way out the door from Ten Hag. And now you've picked this guy above me. I mean, poetic justice is there, right?
Being that I do YouTube, not a lot of my takes age well. But I said, didn't I, before a ball was kicked, I said, I'm telling you now, David De Gea saves you way more points in a season than Onana does.
We've seen it. We know it. Even Man United fans know it. But the funny thing is we don't want to go backwards. What we want to do is want to play a different brand of football. But the main...
What is the brand of football you're trying to play that's different? That's what I want to know.
We haven't seen it yet.
That's my point.
We ain't seen it yet.
Didn't even do that well.
We're still on the journey of trying to find it. I'm not going to lie to you.
So then how comes Ange comes in and then straight away you see it, Spurs, what they're trying to do?
I don't know.
That's what Ten Hag's getting. I'm looking at him thinking, why haven't we seen the football yet?
If Ange lost 4 games in a row at Man United, it's a crisis.
Yeah, he'll be in trouble.
I want to know, though, do you trust...
Be sacked. 4 goals in a row.
If he's won you like the first 10 pretty much?
Listen, Man United is a different kettle of fish, bro. I'm sorry to...
Because we're about to lose 4 in a row and we're still above Man United.
And it won't matter. Is what I'm saying. It's like...
Slapped it in.
By the way, that's Lo Celso's second game in a row scoring on his second start.
Finish.
Hey, I tell you what,
you wrote it off, mate.
We get some money back.
Man City again.
Get some money for him.
Again,
no, we can't keep doing this every time Tottenham score a goal. Why do we wait till 90 minutes?
No, you have to say it. Man City again have surrendered enough.
He just popped a shot from fucking the car park.
Yeah, but the reason we can't wait till 90 minutes is because the scoreline doesn't tell the whole story. Yeah. What we're seeing here in play.
It's a great strike, though. Look.
It's not, though.
It is a great
Let's
strike.
talk about the space, though. Let's talk about the acres of space that Man City are giving up here. This is not Manchester City standard.
He's covering
it. He had acres of space. So take that down, take some time, take it closer, then curl it in the bottom corner. Man City, normally, they're
still drinking.
So that's not a good finish, Brian.
It's a great finish.
That's not a good finish.
No, of course it's a great finish, but the point I'm making is when we're talking about Man City, they're giving you more time and opportunities to beat them than they've ever done.
And when they went on top, you were saying, and we were all agreeing, that they could end up winning this by 4, 5, 6 goals or something like that. And why do we say that? Not because we haven't got a clue about football, because the old Man City of even last season probably would be.
Well, it's also because of Spurs' current team out there as well. We thought that would happen.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Because you're saying we thought they'd go high up. You talk about this game specifically? Or
in this, okay. But in this game, what I'm saying is when Man City took the lead and they were peppering your goal, I was thinking, right, okay, this could be a few now, right? And what I'm saying is, on last season, I think the Man City of last season, it is a few by that point. But what I'm saying is, the difference in Man City is last season, I think they've killed off this game.
Cross it in. Corner ball. Was it?
No!
He still kept it in.
What he's done?
Straight to Kulusevski.
He's killed
Corner.
Did that even fully cross the line?
This team.
Goal
They got the goal line technology, man.
Man City are still celebrating the treble.
Hawkeye.
Lads, it's just a shame Big Ange didn't just park the bus, isn't it?
Yeah. We know exactly what we're talking about. The tactical ability of us. For God's sake, he's shit.
And like Big Ange, me, I think he's a
legend.
manager.
He goes out on
what
his
we're seeing now is an identity. We're seeing the team actually being built here.
Yeah, but
even when they're down to the bare bones, he's competing.
This is gonna sound.
Shit.
Say it.
Do you know what? Now we've got that trend going with sort of ex-Tottenham managers. I can't wait to see Ange in the dugout at Stamford Bridge. I'm really.
That's taking the piss.
Stop it. I just think this is gonna sound crazy. Actually, off his heel.
That looked like it was going in, didn't it?
I just hate knowing you play well and then you don't get any points, and it's just kind of like, why did we did all that for no reason? Then what was the point?
You could win this game. You're
Win?
Well, you still think you're losing? I think you're winning.
They couldn't win this game.
I think you're in the ascendancy.
Yeah, you could definitely win it. You could definitely win it.
If any team are going to score within the next 5 minutes, you're looking at the
If we had Romero and Van der Ven in the back, I'd be agreeing with you.
Mate, imagine if you bang this corner in now.
Are you forgetting the quality Man City have? Like, all it takes is Royale to have a lapse of concentration.
Oh my God!
Which he will have.
He nearly ate
Which he will have. He will have that lapse of concentration, Royale or Davis. And you got someone like Haaland there just to knock it home.
Haaland ain't been great.
I hate this team.
Haaland's missed two sitters as well, but they should actually be gone.
He ain't been great in this game.
KG, can I ask you, do you have faith in this number 2 to actually be okay in the
I've
for
never
the
seen
month?
him play, but right now, listen, I've never seen him play.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Would you not are you not interested in potentially signing someone in January?
That's why I want to have a look. That's why I want to have a look.
You want to have a look now?
I have a look now. That's what I'm saying. Ten Hag, if you know he's definitely going for AFCON, let's have a look now. Already, Onana's we're not going to qualify in the Champions League. That's done. So let's have a look at this kid. If he's good, it's great for us to know. If not, January, let's go in. It's like Arteta did it with his goalkeeper. He looked at Ramsdale and he just had and we didn't see it. A lot of Arsenal fans probably didn't see this. Like, wait, why is he getting rid of Ramsdale?
Yeah.
But he had a look. He saw some stuff and he said, I got to bring in Raya. Brought in Raya on loan. He did it. Like, this could be our Claudio Bravo. That's the one where Pep says, you know what, we brought in this player. Actually, maybe not. And you know what? Maybe you move on. That's fine. But we have to do something. We have to be proactive. And I'm asking Man United to do things that they don't usually do. Proactive in the market. Let's go. It's United. So we'll see what happens. And we just keep making... The problem with Man United is expensive mistakes. And we just got loads of them. As you said...
But if you get a new manager in, he can revive some of these dead players. And like many good managers do, and all of a sudden, you take Jadon Sancho, for example, someone wants to buy him now because he's actually performing.
I've got no doubt that a new manager, I'm not saying it will happen, but a new manager coming into Man United can get way more of a tune out of Mason Mount, can get way more of a tune probably out of Marcus Rashford.
For how long?
Sancho?
That's
because our manager,
well.
everyone's forgetting the first season. Our manager came in and he had a good season, and probably people say it was a full season that he finished, but the killer is those players will always revert.
You lost
those
a lot
players,
of games, though.
Those players will still do that thing.
Will they, though? Will Mount always revert? Will
Hoyland
always revert?
I'm saying that the culture at Man United, something is clearly wrong, because even when they...
Who sets the culture, though? That's the manager.
Well, the manager's been trying, and even when he... when the players couldn't believe it. When he first came in, he was kind of harsh on players. He was kind of harsh on players like Rashford and this, that, and the other, and making these players asking for more, making them run more and stuff. They couldn't believe it. Now, all of a sudden, they've got comfortable because they're used to it. You can tell Rashford's walking around with a comfortability that makes no sense to anyone. As you said, you're seeing him walking, and this manager has gone in. This manager's protected him. This manager's given him a big contract. What more do you have to do for a player? So now you're saying there's an entitlement amongst these squad.
What's it about Rashford's girlfriend making a difference to how he plays?
Oh, when she's in his life, he scores.
He scores loads of goals.
When she's in his life, when he breaks out with her,
it's true though.
What, is he broke up?
She's got
he did, and now he's getting back with her again. He just got seen with her again.
No, but they're not together yet. They're not together yet.
But they've been spotted going.
She's got the magic head.
She's
So they're prophesying that he's going to come back to scoring
Is it just
form
how he
again.
likes it?
Right.
He's dropped out the OnlyFans girls, allegedly.
You know,
Allegedly, I
the
don't know,
thing about Man
right,
United, let's just say, right, they do get taken over and maybe they go for a new manager around the table. Who are the 3 players?
Yeah.
Is it time?
Yeah, it's time.
Oh my!
They don't want to win.
days.
Good.
It was a bit behind
Over the
Rodri,
bar.
though.
They don't want to win this game.
Rodri puts it over the bar, really should have scored. Sorry, I'll rephrase that.
I don't like this. Arsenal going clear, though.
Who are the 3 players who they should build the team around moving in the future?
Kobe, Garnacho.
What has Kobe Mainoo done to make you think that?
No, just
One great game.
Just go for you.
No,
He's getting
saying
a
youth.
lot of praise
saying
that
youth.
way.
I'm
Like,
saying
I'm not,
youth.
not saying
I'm
he's
not
not.
having a go. I'm saying, I know Man
Saying
United
youth.
fans like him, but like
Yeah.
that's a massive thing to say. Build a team around him.
No, I'm just saying,
3 players.
like, as in, it's youth, basically. I'm
Really?
saying, Man United, go young. Just go young, and we're shit now, innit? We ain't got nothing to build on.
Okay.
If these players are on a lot of money, just literally scrap it. Like, right now, there's
if you
all
want-
the 300,000 guys, get them out,
Right.
and just start saying, look, this is what we're doing
What
now.
you wish for. Well,
If you wanted to challenge
our problem.
sooner than
Having
that,
a
I
young
think the
squad.
players
But
that you're
where
looking...
you look, we're right now, you're saying your problem. We're not far
Okay,
from
I'm gonna
it.
let you finish.
Bruno Højlund.
You
Yeah,
said
Bruno Højlund
I
Martinez.
like Bruno.
That's who you want to be
Also,
on.
Who's the
and
3?
Højlund.
Who's the
Sorry,
3?
definitely Højlund. Definitely Højlund. Definitely Bruno Fernandes. But I do like this young kid. I do like this.
I'm not mad at that for you.
I do like this.
I'm not
Kobe
mad
kid.
at
I
it.
do like him.
Kobe Mainoo does look good.
Scott McTominay doesn't get in that 3.
Nah, man, he's been there forever. How long has he been there?
Do
He's
you think
taking the
Mainoo's
piss.
quick enough?
I don't. Sometimes you know that. Sometimes pace can be like.
What is he, an 8 or a 6?
Is a 6.
Okay.
Is Højlund the evidence that statistics aren't the be-all and end-all? Because we're all pretty much in agreement there. Yeah, Højlund's the one you build a bit of a team around. The fella can't score in the Premier League.
goals. Yeah,
can't score
that's
in the
the
Premier
key thing.
I think part of it, I look at Garnacho and Rashford who are serving him, and I think not the best service in the world, is it? Like,
There's something about him, though.
So
when he
then are
plays,
we-
he looks good. You like him. He's just, he looks like there's going to be something there, but you're right. He needs to start scoring in the Premier League.
I really rate Bruno Fernandes' talent. I think he's really high level.
And he looked like he was right in that game, but he just kind of died.
He's just a little bitch, though.
That's what worries
He
me.
just whinges
He
all the
is a
time. Like,
weasel.
even when he got fouled in the game yesterday, he was down for ages.
Do you know when you talk
crying,
about winning
going
mentality?
mad.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if Bruno Fernandes has the winning mentality.
He's got it. He's just been at Man United for too long.
The Man United fans
we're in trouble. Like,
do United fans get annoyed with the moaning and all that? Because, you know, sometimes, like, when the shithousery is coming from a player of your club, you as the supporter still like it, even though the other fans don't. But, like, the Man
we
United...
get annoyed when he complains at other people for mistakes that he makes.
Yeah.
So when he's like, you idiot, like, why'd you do that? And
when he
it's
plays
like,
the ball into
when he
nowhere
does someone,
and
and it's like, wait, then another player, like a young player, does it, and then he moans, and we're like, don't you dare. Those moments like that, but then we do need. What?
I used to do that when I was playing football, though. Deflect at all costs. Why you hit it?
Looking at the turf. You ever look at the turf?
All the time.
The groundsman be looking at you like, how dare you, mate?
Why, Skip? Why? Why?
I've never seen someone. You're drawing 2-2 away at City.
To City,
Hard result, right? If you can pull this off, it's great. And yet Craig is still just in this like state of mind.
He's stuck because he doesn't know what he wants. He wants City to win, and he wants
What do you
Spurs
mean?
to
Why
win.
do I want City? I don't want City to
Because
win.
you're thinking about Arsenal.
I'm just saying, no, if we lost, that's just a silver lining. That they're still near Arsenal. That's the silver lining. I don't want them to win, though.
You're stuck, though.
I don't like it.
Yeah. I was thinking about the signings thing that we usually do, flop or cop, and I thought we could do a Todd Boehly edition.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Go on, then.
Let's go.
All right, I'm gonna go round. All right, so we're not talking over each other too much. Enzo Fernandez, £107 million. Flop or cop?
Cop.
Flop.
How much?
107 million.
That is a flop. 107.
Hold on. Can
Has
we?
he ironed down that place
no,
yet?
No,
We're gonna
can we give it just
respect the rules.
Can we
He
just
just
give
said
it
he-
context?
he said
Can we
He
just?
said respect the rules. What have you done? What's going on with these two Chelsea lads?
I'm just asking if you'd flop or cop.
Respect the rules that you said.
Was it pounds or euros?
Pounds.
Yeah, that's a flop.
Can you lay out the
Not
rule
having
set
that one.
though?
Not having that.
Well, do you think it was a good signing or not?
Yeah, but then we're going on. Oh, will it become good? If
Is it a good signing right now?
Right now. That's
Right now.
That's how we did it last
right
time.
now. And no, with it. Right now, but do you believe he's going to come good?
Yeah, then cop.
All right, cop.
Flop.
100% Cop. He plays for Argentina in the World Cup final. He's immense.
Doesn't matter.
Like, but you guys disrespect on him is immense.
So
He'd
did
make
Pogba.
every single one of your teams better.
Pogba won the World Cup. Pogba won the World
He'd come
Cup.
into your team. Mino, you'd forget.
Pogba won the World Cup. It doesn't matter.
You'd forget who Mino is, mate. You wouldn't even remember that guy's name. If Enzo was playing for you, Scott McTominay wouldn't be anywhere near the team.
As someone with experience.
You are desperate for Enzo Fernandez.
We're not.
You would cream your little pants.
No, we wouldn't.
If you had Enzo Fernandez.
I wouldn't know.
We wouldn't.
Are you mad?
Over Basuma? No, I'm not having him over Basuma.
You're having a laugh.
I'm not.
Mate, you would be a Champions League team with Enzo Fernandez.
No, we wouldn't.
You would.
You're not a Champions League team with Enzo Fernandez.
All right.
Cop.
All right.
Jurgen.
Jesus.
I don't even know. Chuck Woolmaker.
Cop.
I don't even know him, mate.
16 million from Aston Villa.
Nah.
No, I'd have him.
16 mil, Cop.
I'd have him.
He's a great player. Young player. He hasn't played a lot because he's been
Hasn't
injured.
played a
Great.
lot. Flop.
Cop.
Flop.
Okay. Raheem Sterling, 50 million.
I think that's a cop.
Cop, yeah,
I
cop.
like that.
50 million for Raheem Sterling. That's not. That's
a cop.
Loppiest flop.
That's a cop.
How
It's
many
a
goals?
flop.
How many goals and assists has he got this
Mate,
season?
he honestly...
Isn't he by? Isn't he by?
I am
Is he your
ready
highest
for him
scorer?
to leave. I'm ready for him to leave now.
Is he your top scorer this
Deadly
season?
serious,
Uh oh. It's a goal.
Goal.
There we are.
Oh,
Over. Done.
Haaland
Told you, man.
to
Jack
Grealish.
All it takes.
3-2.
All it takes. They got quality, and we got shit players at the back. That's all it takes. A moment.
Canny cool celebration from Grealish sliding into the camera. That's going to be used on
That's
fucking
special.
trailers for years.
That was brilliant.
Yeah, it did look cool.
I have to say, knee side is the elite celebration
Yeah,
for
we've
me. It
seen a
really
few
is the
today.
best
Especially
one.
in this weather.
Yeah, I love it.
The
Yeah,
best one
get a
this
nice
season
knee
was
slide.
Lewis
What was
Hall,
the
Old Trafford.
who did the never-ending knee slide? Can anyone remember that? Who did that? Who was
yeah.
that? That was a great little meme.
No, I
love
tell you
that.
what was a brilliant. Do you remember Jamie Vardy?
Yes.
He did the slide on his arse. That was quite a
I
good
love
one.
it.
You
All
can't beat the Shearer though.
All right,
I'm not
next
gonna
one.
lie.
It's too easy.
Robert Sanchez, 25 million from Brighton.
All right.
What is this?
He's not going to be our number one goalkeeper in 2 years from now, so you'd have to go flop.
Yeah, I would say flop as well, but still better than Onana. So
Wait, we need to go back because
Is there a better than an Onana option?
All right,
Because I'm picking it for every player.
We're not even talking about Man United. It's not even a Man United section.
Axel Disasi, better than Onana.
He still hasn't got. That Sterling one. We just left it alone. There was no argument. You put in. You said what do you call it, Enzo, and you said that Enzo's a great, but Sterling isn't.
Can I explain it? So 325 grand a week.
Yeah.
He was signed for big money. He
Yeah.
never tracks back. He doesn't actually give a fuck about Chelsea. I'm quite happy for him to go.
Jesus.
Sorry.
Okay, moving on. Disasi, 39 million.
I think it's a bit high, the price tag.
Flop. Basuma, man. I can't. I was just singing his praise. He just gave.
Mate, I know it's a cop out to say, but there's no middle ground option here.
I
You
know.
can
That's the
only
beauty.
pick.
These lot are taking a piss, and we have to call it because the math's not adding up. These lot want to go into the market and buy 4 new players. So you
None
can't
of them-
tell me all these
none of them
guys
are
are great
centre-backs.
now.
KG,
If you're
none
going
of
to
them are
buy 4 new
centre-backs.
players, you're not happy. These lot are flops. That's
KG,
calling
none
what
of
it
them are
is.
centre backs.
None of them are
Call it
centre backs, but I would take Mark Gay.
You lot are just taking a piss. I don't know what's going on this table. I think we're just here and we
We're
start feeling
Chelsea.
like...
That's what we do. We take the piss. We fucking buy everyone. Should have learned this by now.
I would say cop on
Jesus,
Disasi.
everyone's great.
I like him. I think he's a solid player.
Everyone's brilliant.
He said 39 million was a bit too high.
I think he's good. I think he's very good.
Okay.
We looked better with him in
Okay,
the
I'm going
pitch
to
today.
round this up. Disasi, flop or cop?
Do it.
Flop, probably.
Flop.
He's already said flop. I think.
Yeah, cop.
Okay.
I like him.
Gusto, 31 million.
Cop.
He's actually decent, you know. I think that's one of the good ones, yeah. So,
he's all right.
cop.
Yeah, cop.
Very,
he's good.
19-year-old backup
He's
right
good.
back.
He's good.
Brilliant.
I like him.
Love it. Under 21.
30 million
French.
for a backup right back's mad, but yeah, he's
Chelsea, innit?
He is,
Chelsea tax.
He is decent, like.
You need a backup right back.
Body of Shield, 33 million.
Cop. I know he had a bad game against Newcastle. I think he's really good.
Yeah.
I wanted us to buy him, to be honest. So.
Yeah. He got an assist today as well. So
I want us to buy him. He's a good player. I'm not going to hate on him. He's good.
Look, again, another really good young centre-back. Love it. Cop.
okay. Nicholas Jackson.
Flop.
Flop.
I don't know if he is a flop. We'll have to ask Astrid. Sorry.
But you just said you've only said one player that you don't like, by the way. In your,
I think Jackson would probably be the ones that I would say is a flop.
Hold on.
So I'll give you that-
Saying
I'll give you
flop
that,
don't
KG.
mean we don't like him. I like Axel Disasi.
Okay.
I just had to pick somewhere.
Yeah, you're having to look at the value that you've getting and what you think is going to be the return, right? So, Mudryk, 31 million. Oh, looking at Joey's face, he has so funny.
Like him, man. I like him. I do like him.
I like Murphy of Newcastle.
None of them have produced, though. This is the problem.
That's what I'm saying. And under another manager, we might change it. But if you're saying to me right now, you can only go with one or two, gun to my head, I'm going to have to go flop at the second.
Next season, Mudryk is on loan somewhere else. He won't be playing for
Well, there you go then. That's a flop.
So that's the answer. Flop.
Okay. Mudryk, 23 million.
Cop.
I like him as well. 19-year-old, very strong. You know, he's a French under-21 international again. They've got a quality under-21.
Flop. Is he going to play for you lot, though?
He has played and he looks fine. He's 19, guys. 23 million.
In fact, you'll see on Wednesday he'll play against you guys.
Damn it.
He will. Gallagher's banned. Mudryk will play.
Next one, Cole Palmer, 40 million.
Oh, flop. I'd rather we sent them another 40. I feel like we got him too cheap.
What a signing.
Yeah.
Probably the best signing we did.
Absolute cop.
Yeah.
Love him.
The best signing Chelsea had made under Boehly, probably, right?
Yeah.
Next one, Caicedo, 115 million.
I think he's
for what he's doing now.
Brilliant. I love him as a DM. I think he's so
Play
good.
the ball.
I know it's a lot of money, but I think we need that
not
position.
This,
and he was proven Premier League quality. We haven't signed a lot of players like that. And do you know what? I thought he was really good.
I think the hard thing about Caicedo is there's never any middle ground. I think he's played really well in a lot of matches, or he's made some sort of high-profile mistakes. I think that the good he's done, and people from the outset looking at us 10th in the league won't think it, the good he's done so far outweighs the bad. I think he'll come good. So
Is his tackling good enough for the position?
His tackling is
He's
very
quality.
good. He's all over the place. Again, there were clubs all up and down the Premier League that wanted him. Liverpool were desperate for him.
Distribution,
he would be so good
his
for
distribution when he does tackle. If I'm shining a magnifying glass on it, seeing what needs working on, his distribution needs to be quicker. When he gets that ball, he needs to release it quicker because he's been caught a few times.
Good point.
But so far, cop.
Richarlison back from injury.
Next up, Fofana, 71 million.
flop.
Come on. I'm going to go flop because, and it's not even his fault. It's not his fault. It's our fault that he's a flop. Because we should have... Everyone knew... Do you remember? Todd Boehly flew him to New York to some specialists to see around that injury. When you're that age and you've had them sort of injuries, a couple of bad injuries he had, we shouldn't have gone in for him, and we shouldn't have gone in for him at the price he had. When I've seen him on the pitch, he looks really good. He does look really good. But at the minute, I'm not confident that I'm going to see him on the pitch all that much. So because of that, I'm going to have to put him in the flop.
Sorry, we need to go to our Spurs correspondent. He's quite frustrated. We don't know what's going on.
Richarlison's on.
What's wrong?
No, I don't mind Richarlison coming on. It was just seeing Basuma. Like, Basuma's just cost us the game. Like, I sing his praises all the time. He was the one that was, like, he lost the ball right in next to our box for them to score. And I really wanted him back in the team. He's been suspended, and I thought he would be an asset, and he's basically thrown the game away today, which is upsetting.
Has Rico Lewis come in and changed the game?
No.
Next up,
he just gave the ball away, and then they scored. That was literally just what happened.
Mikhailo Mudryk, 62 million.
Bro.
Flop.
You know he's a flop, Josh. He's a flop.
You can't trust. Whatever
I
Josh
want to
says
say
in this
cop.
moment,
I want to say cop just because I like Josh so much.
Whatever
At the second, I got to go flop.
whatever Josh says in this moment, now we know if we can trust him or not. Yeah, so I'm going to say flop. Josh, over to you.
I'm going to say he is probably our second or third best signing, and he's a Jurgen. He's an absolute Jurgen.
Jurgen Klopp.
I respectfully disagree, but I rate the balls on this guy. Koulibaly, 33 million.
Oh, were you even talking about it?
A very big flop.
Flop, yeah.
Absolutely awful signing.
This list is still going on.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to sign the whole world.
Only
be a
about a
long
third
one.
of the way through.
It's longer than Santa's fucking list. Listen. Kukureya, 58 million is the last
Flop.
one.
Flop. Come on, guys.
It's a lot of money. I didn't even realise he was
Come on,
58
guys.
million. What the
58
fuck have you not been doing?
58.
You're not just
58
throwing
million.
money around.
Flop.
It really is like Ridsdale from Leeds. Like, this is Chelsea.
Can I just
we'll
say
pay
something?
double.
The more I'm seeing these price tags, the more we should really be getting on to Pochettino and Chelsea for where they are in the league.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, we really should.
Poch didn't sign any of these players.
Here we go.
Who did he sign this season? Cole Palmer.
Cole Palmer.
Who else?
Ugachukwu.
We should be on him.
We signed a lot of players this summer.
But Poch's players. Remember the start date of Poch?
Yeah.
Remember when Poch came in? All of those players that went on the pre-season tour.
No,
my point is these are still expensive players.
They are, yeah.
We have to talk about how Chelsea
They are.
play
But I've made the analogy before. Someone could walk in wearing a £1,000 jumper. That doesn't mean it looks good. It really doesn't mean it looks good. Sometimes you pay over the price for things that aren't.
So how did Chelsea do business, though?
I'm going to need an answer. Cucurella, 58 million, flop or cop?
I'm going to say cop because I think he's our starting left back at the moment.
Flop, man. You lot know it's not what you wanted.
Yeah, no.
Cucurella, flop for 58 mil. That's crazy.
Ian Maatson, Livramento, flop.
Can you explain the point?
So we have, a quality left back in Ian Maatson who will be sold in January because there's too many left backs. We have players like Livramento.
He doesn't want this.
Hold on.
What has happened?
No, can we let's wait for VAR?
He's worried about VAR.
And then,
That's how VAR's killed the
I've
game.
been here before.
You can't even score a last-minute equaliser and celebrate it as a football fan.
He doesn't want this.
Yeah, this is a goal.
I don't want this, so I was just really upset with Basuma, who I love.
You're sad.
That's my guy as well.
Who's
it?
Close.
Who did he play it for?
No, don't go to him. It's him. It's fine.
Cool. That's fine. All right, so now let's see Kulusevski. This is just...
No, this is a goal, mate. This is a goal.
Sweet.
Yes!
I'm telling you now.
Big fucking Ange. Do the accent. Do it. Go on. Don't do it. Yeah, there we go. Don't just do it when we're on the cuff. Do it now. There we go.
Play the high line.
There we go. I'm a celebrity. Get me the fuck in there.
It might be 1 point, but it feels like 3.
We've all got to finish the stream in the Aussie
We got to stop the rot. We got to stop the rot. And to do it at the Etihad is, I'm happy with that. A point, stop the rot. Not too far away from Arsenal now.
Mate, this is a quality result.
No, but
I'll tell you what, City are miles off it though.
City are taking the piss.
No,
You've not seen it.
You got to give Spurs
game.
some credit though.
I will, but
City got pegged back 3 times against Chelsea, 3 times against Spurs.
We can't keep saying that City are shit.
They're not
Spurs played well today.
Look, but with Emerson Royale and them, man, I'm shocked.
Yeah, we've got a depleted team. But we did play well, though.
That's why you got to back your boys and say congratulations to them. You've had a load of injuries. Like, fair play to them. They've done well.
Arsenal are going to win the league.
Yeah, they are.
No, they're only 3 points clear.
I didn't just get the answer there. What were you meaning about Livramento and the other guy?
I just think we had so many players that could have been more than adequate understudies to Chilwell, who should be the starting left back for us. And so to sign Cucurella for that amount of money, give Brighton exactly what they wanted again. I just think it was a mistake.
On that logic, I'd agree.
Oh my God, Grealish is ghosting past people.
The more I watch Livramento, the more I'm like, how on earth
it's incredible.
Has he been fumbled into our hands? Like,
it's incredible.
He's got everything to go all the way. Like,
was he at Chelsea?
Yeah, he starts
at Chelsea Academy.
Yeah, he went to Southampton.
When I watch him, I'm like, you're a Pep Guardiola fullback, except you're with us. It's mental. You're that good.
And also, like we were speaking about Newcastle's injury crisis and whatnot, and a lot of the time you've seen Lewis Hall on the bench. This goes into what I'm saying about the player management and the man management of Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe's looking at him going, you are a talent, but you're not just ready. You're ready. You're not just ready. You're going to be ready, and he's managing him perfect. And when you see Lewis Hall come into the team and break into the team, it might be towards the end of this season. You're going to again be heaping praise on Eddie Howe for managing him in the right way and not thrusting him in before he was quite ready because he's cooking him perfect.
You know, when you're talking about Newcastle youngsters, I didn't mention this earlier, but I did say at the start of the season we've got this young lad called Lewis Miley, and now he's playing against PSG, Man United, Chelsea at 17 years old, and Bruno Guimaraes is going, I was shit when I was his age. Like, literally, he's got the ability to... this is the scary thing. I don't know how good he can be, though. Like, he's got a great footballing brain, he makes really good decisions, doesn't give the ball away, is built 6'3", like, he's huge. And I'm thinking, when you put some muscle on and actually grow into your frame, you're going to be... You're fucking unbelievable. I don't know how good, like, we've produced, Newcastle produced Michael Carrick. From the
quality,
area.
Thank you so much.
If you're half as good as Carrick, I'll be happy. And you look at the youngest.
But we made him.
If you look at the youngest Premier League, the youngest English footballers.
Oh my goodness!
Go wide.
Back Wilson.
No.
Pass. Oh,
Brendan Johnson. What the fuck was that? What was that?
Haaland's still got it now. There's a ball over the top.
Foul him.
It's the basketball match.
Take him out.
What's going on there?
Referee.
Oh no, he's blown up for a free kick.
Did he pull it back?
He pulled it back. Oh,
referee, that is criminal from the ref. He's actually had a big say.
I would have slid in and took him out.
Just in case people aren't watching.
That is criminal.
So Erling Haaland gets fouled. He gets it back up immediately, plays the most beautiful ball over the top for Grealish, sends him through on goal, but the referee had already blown up for it.
No, that is criminal.
That is terrible.
That's criminal.
That is terrible.
They're going to have to write a letter. They're going to have to write another one of those letters.
Well, yeah,
that's disgusting.
Get Microsoft Word
Look
out
at this.
right now.
Look at this.
Just see the fourth official on the
Let's
touch.
see. Let's have a
Oh
look.
my goodness. He done
It
it.
blows up immediately though.
But he plays on.
Oh no, he played on.
That was
What?
a good ball. Well, that was a
Oh,
good ball.
he blew up
as
after
soon as
the
he got-
pass.
yeah.
And he, oh,
So
mate,
what we're
that's
seeing
so bad.
is the referee blows, then he waves play on, and then he pulls it back afterwards. He changed his mind.
Yo.
Once the
He's
ball was
fuming. He is fuming.
This is terrible.
Haaland is ready.
Right,
You can't do that. You
I
can't
haven't won
do
Man
that.
City to win, but he's absolutely bang on with
You
everything.
can't do that.
Disgrace.
It's
that.
a disgrace. That's what he's saying. It's a disgrace.
They always get done against Spurs as well. We're really their bogey team, aren't we?
What is
why
Pep
are we-
Guardiola saying?
Why are we waiting for something to happen here?
We're making a
both just
change.
suck.
Yeah. Who's this? Who's this young boy we're putting on right now?
I'll tell you what.
Give the young boys a run
Good
out, man.
shithousery.
Come on, I got my swagger back. I got my swagger back. I've been deflated, but I'm back, man.
Who is this, Craig?
I'm pointing at the Etihad, I'm back, huh?
Who is this
I
guy?
have no idea. He's gorgeous, though. Get him on, man. I like him. I like him already. Until he gives the ball away. Fucking.
What I was saying, lads, the youngest English footballers in Champions League history, Jude Bellingham, Phil Foden, Lewis Miley. And I'm like looking at the other two like, imagine he's anything like them too.
Champions League history, you said.
Yeah, youngest English footballers in Champions League history, Jude Bellingham, Phil Foden and
Cobby.
Lewis Miley. Cobby's older.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah,
Look at his high line again, though. Yeah. I just don't no.
Why?
I respect that so
You
much.
got to play the same
I'm
way.
not doing that
Stick to the
shit.
philosophy.
It's too high.
Just win the game, mate.
Fucking is higher than Snoop Dogg. I'm not.
Got to play the same way.
Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Get rid of it.
no!
It stinks.
Oh,
it
no,
stinks.
it's not.
Udogie, it stinks. That
Wait,
absolutely
don't take the
reeks.
piss. No, there's no way.
Why
There's
would
no
you
way.
do that?
Do you not rate your? Do you not rate your manager?
He could have hooked it out
You're
for a
so
throw-in.
harsh on
He
your
could have
team.
hooked out for a
These
throw-in.
motherfuckers are playing out
Wait.
of their skin.
All right,
at
watch
the
this.
Etihad.
Watch this. Watch this now. Watch.
There's no way they're going to score.
Watch. You're about to see.
Get in there.
Go on, Skippy.
Challenge.
Go on,
Challenge.
Skippy. I wanted you on, Skip.
Yeah.
Skip looks like the sort of bloke that can have a tear up.
Fuck's sake, man.
Are they
This is
gonna
not
swing
good.
in?
Of course they are.
Swing it in.
Erling wins
Oh, get rid of it! That was off his hand, wasn't it?
Nowhere
It
near.
wasn't. No, we can't deal with this kind of pressure. We're not built for this.
Oh, Rodri whips it in. The penalty shout.
it. Everyone's throwing themselves at the
He's
floor.
all over it.
Man City
handball.
appeal for
Are
a
they buying?
penalty.
Uh-oh,
Says his shirt was pulled.
There was a handball
It's
in
going
there
to
as
go
well.
to VAR.
Uh-oh.
And we're going to say it's slowing down and it's full-blown PSG last-minute shit.
And the referee wants to give something to City because he's just had an
Oh, if we got the one against City, remember the one when we just gladly touched him?
Oh, he's pulling him,
They're
though.
going to
He's
give
looking
that.
for it.
They're going to
He's
show that
looking.
angle and give it.
He's looking for it.
We're done, man.
Mate, I tell you
Oh, they
what,
are,
either the Premier League has got so exciting this year, or Brian,
won't-
you've
oh,
picked the dates
can
for
I
the
just say
kickoff
something,
so
though?
well.
Can I
Because
just say-
every match has
I know,
been
it's
sick,
mad,
isn't it?
yeah.
Can I
You know
just
what
say
annoys
something,
me,
though? He weren't getting there.
No, but he wasn't getting there, which it should be factored
sweet.
in.
I didn't give it.
Yeah,
Goal
good.
kick.
He weren't
Goal kick.
getting there, though.
But also,
he was nowhere near the
A
ball.
little hand on the shoulder is not enough to go down.
but there was no, there was a little
this
bit. No, there was a little
this
bit.
is-
though.
This is a
looking for it,
fucking
mate.
disgrace, bro. We got one for the lightest touch. Hoyland on what do you call it?
Why
And
do
then-
you want City to have one?
I'm saying that's not fair, bro. This is not.
What's
This is
not
some
fair?
bullshit. If you say that's not a foul, how'd you get one for the?
Yeah, but that one shouldn't have been the one you're talking about.
I
It doesn't
know,
mean
and
we
it
should now
changed the
give this
game.
one.
And it changed the game. I want consistency.
Oh my god, this is
Treat
horrible.
us fairly.
This is
man.
horrible. It's the 98th minute.
I hate
Like,
the
what
Premier
the
League.
fuck is going
I hate
on?
the Premier League.
Yes.
It's the 98th.
That's it.
Run,
It's
follow
all
up.
3 points drop.
Well done.
They've only got
2 points. 2 point shot.
Well done.
Well done, Spurs.
I just hate the Premier League. I feel it's not fair. It is what it is. I'm sour.
Can I just say something though? A lot of high-scoring games have been thrown up this season in the Premier League.
Yeah.
though. A lot of
Maybe you're
entertaining
involved.
games.
Maybe you're involved, aren't you?
That's so City. Oh, he's lost his head.
Erling Haaland just said, "Well done, ref," and then he turned around and went, "Well fucking done, ref."
He's got to get a ban.
Did you read it?
He verbally.
He's got to get a ban
mate,
for that.
Mate, you
That's
can
a ban.
lip read.
Ban him.
Anyone can lip read that.
You
Yeah.
got to get banned for that. I remember when.
Oh, fucking dry your eyes,
The
mate.
ponytail
when-
has been released.
Look at him. Look at him.
He's
Shut up, man.
Nightmare.
He's right.
Oh,
though.
that's
He's
he's going to
right.
get banned.
He's a
gonna
ban.
get
He's getting a
for
ban. 4 games.
Oh, Pep's back in it though.
4 games.
Pep's back in it. He's fuming.
But that's sometimes what City need. Weirdly. 4-game ban.
What's all the beef? What's he beefing? Who's he beefing? Who's beefing?
I'll be in there getting my mate to hold me back.
And get in there and tell him to calm down.
This will be interesting to see what Pep does.
It was the way Haaland, he didn't shake hands with the ref. He sort of smacked his hand and went, well done, ref.
Yeah.
Like, it was so condescending.
Happy now.
Know what I mean?
How many charges they got? 100 and what?
15.
You got to add some more to that one, mate. That's assaulting the referee.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Pep's walking over to it.
That
was an anticlimax.
Sarcastic.
Look, can we... I understand. City have a right to feel pissed off here, fully. Like, that ball over the top from Haaland was world class, and Grealish was through. Doesn't mean he would have scored, but it should have been allowed to go on. And the referee blew... changed his mind, waved play on with the hand, then changed his mind again.
Snake.
Now, there's no reason why he should have changed his mind back. When you say Grealish is through on goal, you've done the right thing. So why change your mind then? That is a disgrace, that. And I don't want City to win, but they should be pissed about that. That's outrageous.
End of the day, gotta fly the same wine when you play this.
I have to say, right, we gave him a lot of stick earlier on about playing attacking football, but you got to rate it.
Sorry. Who? Because I wasn't.
You were fully involved.
I was very on board.
You
with
were
Big
fully
Ange.
involved.
I was Big Ange all the way.
You were saying they should have parked the bus.
Craig was cussing him, saying they should play like this. Craig was cussing him, saying they shouldn't play like this.
I was saying I rated Big Ange for this.
In full fairness, though, can I say something? It wasn't actually as gun-ho as he has been recently. It did look a bit more balanced, though, overall, looking at the 90 minutes.
I feel like it was more of a counter-attacking style rather than like punch for punch.
Yeah, it was.
But,
he did seem like he adapted.
In spots, like at times when they picked their moments, they would blow everyone forward, and it worked. Like
we could have maybe even won it with that Brennan Johnson mad
Let's think about when we talk about how great Pep Guardiola is, right, and this idea that he is infallible. He lost today. Sorry, he dropped points today against the team with all fullbacks and riddled with injuries, with very little quality. And yet, Big Ange has equalled Pep Guardiola today with not a fraction of the price spent, not anywhere near the level of quality. So when we talk about how great Pep is, he's not perfect, and this season more than any, they are more gettable because. The people who would bail him out of the individual brilliance that Pep has had at his disposal in, the likes of Gundogan and Mahrez, don't get me wrong, Doku and Foden are very good, but they're not that killer level that they were on, that big moment level. Like Foden did pop up with a goal today, but was he controlling the game the way those would have done? Not at all.
Do you know what's crazy? And I hate to do this to my own team, but it is glaring for my manager. We played these lot. Against Man City. We'd never do this against these lot. As you've seen time and time again, he's been injury riddled. He made a little change in there. He made a tactical change that was for the best, and he's got something out of this game. And you just say, look, even you want to talk about style and stuff, he's done great today. What Big Ange has achieved today is great. And because I always look at games through a Man United lens and say, well, we would have been massacred here today, unfortunately. I don't know if I can't just say, they always get out for the Man United games. Somehow, he's done he's been good in this game.
Back the character, man.
Tactical is great.
He got his tactics right, but he motivated the hell out of his players. And the thing I see in Big Ange that I also see in my manager, Eddie Howe, and some of the managers like Jurgen Klopp and maybe Emery, is like, when you not necessarily as gifted in terms of talent with the competition, but you make your players overperform, that's the mark of a tremendous manager.
Yeah.
And I was so skeptical of Big Ange. Like, I was thinking, who the fuck knows, bro? You haven't got Harry Kane, so you're probably looking at mid-table football. The way this lot are overperforming for him in comparison to what Mourinho and Conte were able to get out of them, it's staggering.
And that's the thing. Even when we didn't have our injuries and we had Maddison and Romero and all of these players, we were playing really, really high-level football. Like, teams didn't actually really want to play us. Like, it was hard to play against us. And looking at the game today, we actually scored one of their goals.
Bro.
We scored an own goal. Like, really.
Remember what I said earlier? I said, when you've got a manager like this, you are going to hit those speed bumps and lose those games. But as Tottenham fans now, you guys should be looking at this going, there is a long-term process that we are improving. And we're fucked right now, but we have to stick with the team because we're looking at a manager who's really going to take us somewhere. If with some investment and with the right back, and he'll be, I mean, look, you're still in the top 5 now.
We're still in the hunt, for top 4. But it's crazy. But also, I have to say, just to be fair as well, Man City missed a few chances today. They could have put this game to bed.
Man City have surrendered leads, and it should be looked at.
Yeah, but they're still 3 points off the top. That's what's scary about it. They beat Arsenal at Etihad, and they win the league again.
Don't you think it's more scary?
Who would have thought that in this position Villa would be 1 point behind Man City? Does that not talk about the sort of fall off that Man City have had this season? But Aston Villa are 1 point behind.
But it also speaks to the greatness of. Well, I wouldn't say greatness is a strong word, but the quality. How well Unai Emery.
Yeah.
But let's
wait. Hold on. Aston Villa are 1 point behind City now.
Yeah.
Same amount of games played.
Yeah.
There you go. You've got to give credit to them.
Let's look at the recent results for Man City. And this is a Man City team who've got everyone outgunned. Still, we all agree Man City still have the best squad.
Yep.
So if you're not top of the league, you're not getting the most out of them. Pep Guardiola is not doing that right now. And we're allowed to occasionally criticise Pep. That's all I'm saying.
Of course.
We're looking at the recent results. 3-3 against Tottenham. They then conceded 2 against Leipzig, but they managed to beat them 3-2. They drew against Liverpool 1-1. They drew against Chelsea 4-4. Like, I mean, before then, you're talking about Bournemouth, battered them, battered Man United, and Young Boys.
Lost to Arsenal.
And they did lose to Arsenal early in the season. But the point is like, this unbreakable force that they were last season, they're not looking like.
And they spent so much money on defenders, guys. That's what no one's talking about. They're conceding a lot of goals with quality defenders. Call him somebody. They just bought
Guardiola.
They bought him.
Yeah.
They got Stones. They got players. This is how many goals have they conceded then?
So they've conceded 16 goals.
Yeah.
They've conceded 16 goals this season, which, just for a bit of a reference, Arsenal conceded 11, Liverpool 14, Villa 20, Spurs 20, and Newcastle 14.
Yeah.
So they've actually conceded 1 less than Manchester United. So you wouldn't look at City's defensive record and go, it's been particularly good this season by their standards.
If they didn't have the track record of going on that run in January, February time, we would be sat here now looking at it going, wow, they're well below par this season. But I think that's always in the back of our mind, isn't it?
There is a difference, though, this time round, because they've got the Club World Cup to contend with. Right in the middle of this. Right in the middle of this busy period. That's coming up.
Did they lose anyone to AFCON? Not many, if none, really.
I think so.
I wish there were City fans that I knew that I could laugh with, like, take the piss out of.
They're all like,
this is where we are.
City fans are all under the age of 12.
You're going to say I'm a City fan again because I'm jumping to their defence.
He said this is where we are as well.
This is where we are. As fans, this is where we are. We're taking the piss out of a team. We're taking the piss out of a team that are 3 points off the top of the league.
It'll be fun.
But I don't
3 points off the top of the league.
But I don't think we're taking the piss out.
They ain't even lost to these teams we're talking about. The only team that's really beat them and has been a bit damaging was the Arsenal result, and that was like a deflected goal. It wasn't even like they battered them or anything. It was very tight.
Football.
And Kevin De Bruyne is still all right, we're going to see second half of the season. We've got a long season.
Well, your team won twice today. You're happy. You're over the moon. I'm just saying you won. You're in a great space.
We didn't win.
Man City won, or got a result that you like. Tottenham won as well, and you're happy. You're over the moon. You are. This is the perfect result,
man.
This is the perfect result for him.
You could push it that way. I'm just saying we're going to sit here at the end of this season of the kickoff, and I'm going to tell you that City are champions again. So you lot could do what you want. You could doubt it.
I've never been more unsure about what you're saying. Like I've never thought City look as vulnerable as this in years.
We've got
it's not just because of them, it's the way Arsenal are controlling games.
They haven't got their bad patch, Arsenal, yet, though, and it will come.
I'd say they haven't hit their good patch yet, Arsenal.
They also haven't hit a bad patch, though.
Yeah. I know what you mean, but when I look at the wins Arsenal are getting, grinding out the 1-0s, holding on at 2-1 and keeping them wins, I'm looking at it now. I know they've put a few teams to the sword like Bournemouth earlier in the season, but I'm looking at it going, Arsenal haven't hit full on Arsenal.
I
don't think Liverpool have.
Why are you not overlooking Liverpool? I was going to say, why is everyone
forget Liverpool. Listen, this is what I'm saying. See,
get Liverpool
this season. See Arsenal, usually notoriously, and even under Arteta, if you can go look at the previous seasons, second half of the season, they're not as good as the first half of the season. And Man City are the complete opposite every season. That's the only thing I'll say.
I'm going to say that forget Liverpool might be a legendary moment.
Right, well, let's,
they might win it. They might win it.
It's not just that, though.
I'd prefer them to Arsenal.
Mentally right now, I don't think City are looking like they used to, and when I look at Arsenal, when we played Arsenal, I give them their respect. Like the first half against them at St. James's, we barely got a kick of the ball. They were incredibly good at controlling the game. I think that's a conscious thing for Arteta to minimise the opportunities to lose games in the way that they did in that kamikaze style at the end of last season. Then you look at Liverpool today, 3-2 down into the dying minutes, they still win 4-3. Like, Arsenal and Liverpool are showing championship mentality right now. City aren't. And that, for me, is a partly down to, I think them not having Gundogan and Mahrez, but also De Bruyne. They are 3 mega players for them. De Bruyne does come back. But is that going to be enough? I don't know.
Next game, no Rodri, no Grealish. Both of them are suspended. And we know how reliant they are on Rodri.
Who have they got next?
I don't know.
Have a look.
Find out.
Because it might not matter if they got Luton or someone.
Yeah. I think, right, if
it's Villa away.
Oh! There you go. There you go.
So you're saying Villa could,
if they
beat them, go above them.
If they fall out of the top 4, oh my goodness, we've never seen this before.
If Villa beat them, they can go above them.
If they fall out of the top 4, we're gonna have to finally people will recognise. I think this is the
We've seen them have them slow starts when they've had to go on a really, really impressive run from like Christmas onwards. We've never seen them come 15 games fall out of the top 4.
Like right now, I'm leaning towards City not winning the title. It's just like, I think Pep is so fortunate to have so many match winners in his teams over the years, where if he's got his tactics wrong, it doesn't matter because this guy or this guy or this guy will bail him out. Right now, when I'm watching this side, there's just not the strength and depth that used to be there, isn't there? And like the players, like Foden and Doku are good players. But I kind of feel like they're kind of on-top players. Like when City are on top of the game, yes, they play well. They love it like that. But are they able to turn a game on its head even when they're not playing so well? And I feel like in the past, a Mahrez or a Gundogan would do that. Obviously, Kevin De Bruyne will, and he's come back next year. But I just don't know if they've got enough of that in their team.
It's more so, I don't know if teams are more not afraid, but these teams getting all these goals against them.
We shouldn't be afraid now. We should not be afraid.
They shouldn't be. Right now, like, if any team, you said it before, and you're lost, you're beaten in the tunnel. You're looking at them saying, bloody hell, what are they going to do to us today? Now teams are saying, I fancy us to get some goals here because Chelsea's had some luck. Now, these games are a message to other players in the Premier League. We could do something. If I'm an Aston Villa player, I'm saying to myself, you know what? I'm looking forward to this game.
Interestingly, we've just seen footage there, which Craig left out of, when the header goes in from Spurs. Pep is sort of hunched down on the touchline and literally just falls over and lies on his back. And I'm like, yeah, like he let that out there of like, fuck. And I think he's really feeling the pressure this season. He knows how important that was.
Look at the XG though for City, 2.64. They squandered mad.
Did Chelsea deserve to be 5th in the table?
Why is your XG high?
XG's high.
Is it? Chelsea's XG's in the top 6.
XG don't matter. Like it's
bloody nonsense.
No, obviously you got to put the ball in the back of the net. But I watched Haaland literally miss a sitter.
But also, in terms of XG, the one thing it kind of doesn't give credit to was the defensive ability of the other team as well, like digging deep.
That's true.
And I think that for all Big Ange has this style, he did adapt it, and he did well today.
This man has absolutely stepped up to the plate big time this season. Not that he wasn't already, but when Kane left and we're not realising like he's still got Son there. He's still got Son there. Yeah. And going through on goal, I wouldn't pick anyone ahead of him in the Premier League.
And he rarely gets injured. Like he's Mr. Consistent. He's always
ruthless, isn't he?
He is elite.
No, but last season he had a stinker though.
But he's
he was like absent. But I think he hated.
But that's what I'm saying. He stepped right up.
He's in the top 10 in the world in terms of goal conversions. Like top 10 in the world.
World class.
Yeah.
There's no way to.
Brilliant.
All right, lads, we'll wrap it up there. It's been a fucking great show. Really appreciated it. I think me and Joey are going to do a Chelsea Man United stream. Is it Wednesday?
Wednesday,
yeah. Wednesday.
Yeah.
So look out for that, and then we'll see you next Sunday.
Gets broken. I hope everything stops.
I hope we.
You might win.
We'll be back Sunday as well. Big love to the lads. Don't forget to check out all the channels, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.
Love.